WrestleMania 42 is in our rear view, and we are heading directly to what the hell does WWE do from here? Where are we going? What storylines are we going to culminate? How is TKO going to worm their way and stick their little ideas in the remainder of the year as far as wrestling goes? We're going to talk about that and so much more tonight on a brand new episode of Off the Mat, your new wrestling obsession. I am Matt, and also with me, as always, I have Sticks and Dirty Dom Tober, the man in charge of the Dirty Dom Dirt Sheets, giving you the hottest news and rumors every week. Boys, how are we feeling a few days removed from WrestleMania? We had a long weekend of wrestling.
Oof, we did.
How are we feeling?
Oh, man. You know, it was the first time in a very long time we had a week of wrestling. Monday night all the way until Sunday, and then Monday again. So basically from Monday to Monday, we had 8 days.
And Tuesday and Wednesday.
Well, yeah, I'm just the fact is that we had a long week of wrestling with events and everything that went that led up to WrestleMania. And yeah, WrestleMania was like we were talking back when I was talking to you guys that, you know, regardless of the fact of what WrestleMania 42 was, it wasn't as bad as it could have been. It was bad. Don't get me wrong. It could have been a lot better, but for what it was entertaining. And, you know, I actually went back looking at video footage of like other matches, like from other WrestleManias. Give or take 7 minutes, 10 minutes. Basically, those are the number of minutes that for some of these matches. You know, we may say it maybe seemed rushed, but there are other matches that went quicker, like in previous WrestleManias. So, you know, once you start counting numbers and you start putting things out there, that's when things start getting crazy. Also, the conspiracy. Oh my God, this and that. But if you go back to a couple of WrestleManias, you'll see there is a level of time for each match. You know,
the problem is what? It's WrestleMania. We should get more wrestling and not ads. Your ad time should not outweigh the total amount of professional wrestling on a professional wrestling show.
I know. Yes. And that's the issue. You know, that's the issue. Commercials pay.
Especially when we are paying. Well, you guys are paying. Yeah. I'm still paying because I'm paying for Netflix, but I'm using a VPN. But when we're paying for a premium service, why are we still additionally having to watch ads?
Well, listen, I think they're going to get away from that premium package where you pay for no commercials. I think commercials are upon us with everything. Ad revenue. Yeah. That brings in the money. So regardless of the fact on cable, because commercials should be on regular TV and you got cable, you watch. I'm waiting. Look, Netflix started with the commercials when they started going live. Once you go live with shows and start getting those live events, commercials are the epitome of what happens in live events. Because the revenue, you got to have commercials to make sources to make money. A new product, a movie event, something that will bring money into everybody makes money.
I mean, live TV, when it was terrestrial stuff, and you had commercials, you know, that was the market plan, right? You get commercials in between your spots. If you're on Netflix and you got these or ESPN and you're doing a PLE and it's supposed to be on a special network that only accessed through the special program plan, why are you getting commercials during certain things? You know, if it's a sporting event like baseball always has commercial breaks that's built in. Wrestling doesn't really have commercial breaks built in.
The NFL, they have TV timeouts for commercial breaks. Like when you're watching the game live, they have TV timeouts. We shouldn't have commercial breaks for professional wrestling. There's no timeout. It's not like they stop the match.
Exactly. And they sit on the side like this. You know,
Yeah.
What's going on, man? What's this commercial ad?
Let me take a breather and make sure I rehydrate and take a couple drinks of this Prime from this Prime cart over here while we're on commercial break. Yeah, like.
Hey, listen, you got to thank God there's no commercials for movies right now.
Well, yeah, you get like 30 minutes of ads before the movie even starts.
I know, but as the movie goes on,
all the commercials, and then they play the trailers, and the movie starts an hour later.
No, I'm talking about movies watching TV. When you watch a Netflix movie, commercial break, watch the movie.
Well, yeah, you do. It depends on what tier.
Plan.
Yeah. If you only pay like $8.99 and have the ad tier, you have ads during movies. You have to pay the $20. So you're essentially still paying the like. For me to use a VPN, I had to up my Netflix. Luckily, I dropped it back down and gated the system. But you had to pay for the ad tier on Netflix, or no ad tier. So you had to pay $20 for Netflix to be able to use a VPN, and you still had ads. So I'm essentially paying for the no ad tier and still having to have ads, just like ESPN. I have YouTube TV. I already technically pay for ESPN, and now they want me to pay another $30 for the ESPN app. Not going to do it. You can lick my nuts.
If you get enough people not doing that, then they're forced to less a hand. But you see, these corporations, look, do you see how much money they made? Like, I don't know if it's a false advertisement for what they did for the both WrestleMania nights there in Vegas, but it surpassed last year. And it's like, so the money you made, the revenue, everybody made money. So when you have $100 tomahawk steaks, $30 friggin' drinks, water was $25, everything was high price. People were paying it. You're forced to pay it because at the end of the day, they don't allow you to bring food in because they do bag checks. So you can't bring anything in if you want to save money. You're forced at an event to consume what they have. And you're spending all that money. Dude, they made a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
They made a lot of money. Come on. And regardless of the fact,
merch sales and shit like that.
People bought shirts like crazy. People, the wrestling experience they had, the wrestling experience with the autographs and pictures with all the wrestlers and stuff like that, made a mint.
Yeah. Yeah, they were sold out.
The funny thing is that, I'm not a wrestling fan. You had people that weren't even wrestling fans going to this. It's the biggest event. You have it in Vegas. They'll be stupid not in 2 years not to have it back in Vegas again because they made too much friggin' money. And it's unfortunate. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but the consumer's still going to pay for the product, even though it's high price. Yeah, mind you, they dropped the ticket prices down. There was some giveaway tickets 2 for 1. They did some roll. But do you think that the businesses that are around there, there was no 2 for 1 in the business. They were getting full price for each person. They made those restaurants made bank and bars.
But remember those ticket discounts when McAfee came out. 25% off from Dodge Ram for the first night, not the second night.
I know.
It was only one night. It wasn't the whole weekend.
Sold the first night. Hands down.
It was still smaller crowd than last year, apparently.
No, did you see night 2 was that was packed. It was. Look, night 2 overshadowed night 1. No way for the bus.
Well, maybe it was the weekend. I'm thinking,
but they made their money.
Yeah.
Now the countdown to WrestleMania 43 is coming. Saudi Arabia.
Well, that's going to be the real test, right? To see how close we can get to that without them having to back out and say
the whole fact is
too much shit going on. They're going
to Saudi Arabia for one of the events in July now. So we're going to see if they're going to go. If it's safe to go. Look, let me tell you, so corporations are getting money. The Saudis are paying like $500 million to have the event. $500 million for the event there. That's big time money for TKO. They want that money means a lot to a corporation. Then back it up. Meanwhile, you can have WrestleMania. Yeah. You know what? You can have WrestleMania 43 back in Vegas again. and it'd actually be smarter for them to do it. Safer and smarter. So,
well, they were supposed to have it in Nashville, Tennessee, for next year before giving it to Saudi Arabia.
yeah, I heard that. Yeah,
I saw that.
But and they're saying they did like 1.5 per night million views or something like that on ESPN proper before moving over to the ESPN app. I mean, did they
drop a number of anybody who signed up?
They're saying that WrestleMania 42 is one of the highest grossing events despite a drop in fans.
Yeah. And
so they're definitely saying that fan attendance was down compared to last year's WrestleMania.
But they still made bank.
I'm sure they did. That's
because the prices are up and everything else. The prices are up and everything else.
Regardless of the fact, next year there'll be, I don't want them to go to Saudi Arabia, but they're going to do it anyway. It's them. They're going to do it. I can
WrestleMania 42 saw 10,000 fewer fans than last year.
10,000 fewer fans, but they made more money than last year.
Well, Sticks hit it on the head. The prices are up.
Yeah,
prices for everything are up. Yeah. I'll tell you, I was looking at Vegas hotel prices for WrestleMania weekend, and for a normal during the week Vegas trip, I could get a nice hotel room at a really nice hotel or casino, $65 a night.
Yep.
$500 a night for the 2 nights of WrestleMania.
Yep. You're lucky it's $500 a night, or it could be more. It was like my hotel I work for. When there's an event going on, like rooms, the average 2 and change a night, maybe 300. Boom! As soon as there's an event, $900,000 a night. It's
crazy,
insane.
It is insane, but you know what? That's the way things, the institution of things. When you have an event, you make money. Like San Diego Comic-Con. I'll give you a good example. San Diego Comic-Con. We talked about the hotels, and I told you that's insane. The price, but because of the event, and I'm right next to the event, so that's why. Well, we have a different option too. We were looking at, so it's a little cheaper, but still pricey.
All right, we've done enough complaining about prices for WrestleMania. WrestleMania's in our rear view, so let's take a look at our. I just forgot what I was going to say.
All right.
You want to go through the results?
We're going to do that a little bit later. Let's go ahead and jump into our top rope takes. That's what I was looking for. We're going to start with our top rope takes. And now I want to thank everyone who tuned in over the 2 nights of WrestleMania to enjoy WrestleMania with us and do our live stream. So many of you subscribed. We got a lot of new viewers. I appreciate every single one of you and welcome you all to Off the Mat. Now, if you're not familiar with this, our top rope takes are where we put 2 minutes on the clock, kind of like Pardon the Interruption on ESPN. We put 2 minutes on the clock and we give our reactions to the hottest new topics in professional wrestling, 5 of them to be exact. And we're going to start here tonight with our top story. Is the Raw After WrestleMania still special? As everyone remembers, the Raw After WrestleMania used to be the most watched Raw, must-see TV. You guaranteed that it was going to be the topic around the water cooler the next day or around the school hallways the next day after WrestleMania. The Raw After WrestleMania was always must-see TV in the event of sometimes even overshadowing WrestleMania. The last couple of years, that has not been the case. Boys, this year, the Raw After WrestleMania, do you think the Raw After WrestleMania is still this must-see spectacle, or do you feel like it's just another thing you can watch and it's not really going to take you anywhere?
Oh, it's next.
I'm going to say, as far as this year and maybe even last year, I think you can miss it.
Whatever years, let's be honest.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, last couple of years. what they bring from WrestleMania and the aftermath to Raw, it's not there like it used to be. You used to be able to go to Raw and like it was kind of like that, like what you would call in TV sweeps week, right? Boom, the new stuff comes in. You program your new champions. You have some returning matches maybe that are formed out of WrestleMania on the Raw after. You get a return from someone like this year, like Paige returning would have been great on Monday Night Raw. The whole, and we'll talk about it when we get into it, the whole Bianca Belair reveal could have been done on Monday Night Raw instead of in the middle of WrestleMania. I get it. You got a lot of fans and eyes watching it. But, I mean, that's not, didn't really consider that a WrestleMania moment, per se. You know, it was a great moment, I guess, but not WrestleMania moment. So that's my take.
Yeah,
I don't think it's been, but it should be.
The Raw after WrestleMania used to be chaotic. It was, you had to see it. Like, there was crazy stuff. You never knew who was debuting. You never knew what new feuds were going to set up. We're setting the rest of the year up after that WrestleMania, because at WrestleMania was the culmination of storylines. Now the Raw after WrestleMania, you do that to set up storylines. They still did a little bit of that, but there wasn't any real chaoticness. It was pretty much just a normal everyday Raw, except you saw a couple of new faces and you had a couple of NXT call-ups. There was nothing here that was like overly exciting that really felt like, oh my God, I need to watch Raw week in and week out to see what's going to happen.
Well, I can honestly say this year's Raw after WrestleMania was much better than last year's Raw. All I can say is in Paige, baby. Finally. Okay, that being said.
Well, you're biased with Ethan Page.
I'm sorry. I had to, but you know, the one thing about that I see now with Raw when it comes to like just Raw in general, when the new person comes in, people, Adam Pearce shaking the hand, well, welcome to Monday Night Raw. That shouldn't be well, welcome to Monday Night Raw. It should be a surprise. That person comes out. That's Ethan Page. Oh, he's here. Like, you need that surprise element where Raw really hits you. Like the whole thing. You're right. You hit it in the nail. You hit it in the button, Sticks. Page. The Page thing. The two surprises they should have did in WrestleMania. Paige should have been a surprise, and Finn Balor should have been a surprise with the demon coming out as a demon.
Yep.
That would have been big pops. You would have had that been talking about like holy shit type of a moment that happening. They're playing it safe. The mystique of the surprises aren't there like they used to be. But I can tell you this: I see things going in the right direction. You know what? It looks like we're gonna get Punk versus Cody. We're gonna get that. Then that's gonna be a year-round thing headed towards that, which I like that build-up. And then Jacob Fatu coming out and going for the championship, which kind of surprised. I'm surprised that Jacob Fatu is no longer part of SmackDown. It's coming to Raw, you know, and now he's gonna face Roman, you know, which is kind of cool. But I still think that the Bloodline is reuniting. Matt told me no, but you got the Bloodline there, you know. But I still think that Jay is going to betray Roman because there's a lot of speculation that might happen down the road. But give or take, this Raw after WrestleMania was pretty good. You know, you got to see Sol Ruca come in, you know, versus Liv, which was great. You know, not only she's a specimen, she's good in the mic too as well. So you got that. You're gonna have something special with her. Hopefully, she's okay after the chaotic fall that she hit her head in the table in NXT against Zarya. But
I made the comment to you in the chat.
Yeah.
Debut on Raw one night, concussion protocol the next.
So yeah, I think we're headed for something good. Like I said, you know, the right direction. Look like Raw is picking up. There's a lot of you know, Joe Hendry, you know, so I could see Raw getting a little push along the way, and like later on we'll get to the rumor mills, but with the SmackDown, they're saying that SmackDown might become more of the newer roster of for wrestlers that when they come up, they go on SmackDown, and you have Raw more of the veterans and stuff like that getting together. So we might see it for a change, but like I said, I gave a solid, -7 plus on a scale of 1 to 10 with Raw. So it could have had some more elements, like like Matt said, the surprise, the mystique, and things like that. But for all, it was a solid show.
Raw After Mania is supposed to be a spectacle. It should be all hands on deck. We didn't even, fresh off her Intercontinental Championship win at WrestleMania, we didn't even have a Becky Lynch. Could you imagine how much of more of a surprise it would have been if what we said happened last week, that AJ Lee was still champion and she was standing in the ring and Paige came back and challenged her for the Intercontinental Championship and won it? Or Sol Ruka, for that matter. We had a Sol Ruka appearance, but she came out and kind of had an impromptu match with Liv Morgan. Becky Lynch even bother showing up on the show. You have Joe Hendry, who's supposedly a call-up, but he wasn't even worthy about calling up on Raw After WrestleMania. No, we're going to wait till next week, and he's going to appear in a Joe Hendry rock concert.
Yep.
Raw After Mania should be crazy. It should be insane. You have such an international crowd, especially when next year you're not going to get that going to Saudi. I don't care what Nick Khan and TKO board says. It's not going to be that in Saudi Arabia. So why wouldn't you? And that's even given if the Raw After Mania is even going to be in Saudi Arabia. Are they going to come back to the States and do the Raw After Mania here in the States? What's that going to look like? We won't know until we get closer. Interesting enough, they're talking about doing WrestleMania next year at the end of March instead of the middle of April. So, because they want to do it at the end of Riyadh season or whatever. So we'll see. But I just think the Raw After Mania, the spectacle is gone. They have to do something to get it back. You got to have chaos. You got to have, it would have been like you said, instead of being like, oh, Ethan Page, the newest signee, blah, blah, blah in the background, like, Javon has something going on where he comes out and interrupts or just something where.
Wait, who is that? That's Ethan Page.
Yeah, like we used to. Like,
because back in the day, remember when the King and friggin' they used to come out when somebody came out. It was big.
Mm-hmm.
It was really big. Oh my God, that's so and so. What is he doing here?
Raw After WrestleMania was always the show where anything was possible. Any return was possible.
It kind of feels like TKO doesn't want surprises. They want to tell everybody everything. This person's going to show up here. This person's going to be there. This is going to happen. It's like everything's laid out for you.
You're not going to spend your hard.
You're not going to get a surprise.
You're not going to spend your hard-earned dollar bucks on
we have
potential surprise if we don't tell you what it's going to be.
We have one more surprise. SmackDown tomorrow is the SmackDown After Mania. So we'll see what we get there. Some call-ups.
It may be better.
Big surprises, some moves from Raw to SmackDown. We already know that some moves are coming. So we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Our next topic on our off the top rope. The real reason why Pat McAfee's WWE angle was dropped was revealed as today on his YouTube channel, Jelly Roll of all people, dropped a WrestleMania vlog where at the end of it, he is riding in a golf cart through the backstage and he thanks everybody and talks about how cool it was being there. But he says to Pat McAfee, pretty much, we're all good at something. You're good at your radio show. I'm still looking to see what I'm good at, joking around, but we don't belong here in professional wrestling. Because the report is they were both very aware of the fan backlash online. They were both very aware of how the fans felt about their involvement in this storyline and how TKO was involved. 2 minutes on the clock. Boys, do you buy that reason as to why we got the crazy finish we did at Mania? Because the whole speculation is that Pat took that elbow from Jelly Roll in the back and said, I'm out. I'm done. This isn't going to work. So they scrapped the backlash match. That's why when he came back out, we got the word of the match is scrapped. And so they had that chaotic finish where you had Randy RKO Pat and the low blow and then Randy RKOing and punting Cody at the end. This match was worked when we went into the match, it should have been Cody's the face, Randy's the heel. But the match was worked like Cody was the heel, Randy was the face, because Randy's selling this back injury that nobody even heard about the entire time. And usually selling an injury, that's a face move.
Yeah.
So we had Randy go face to heel, face to heel, face to heel, at least 5 times in this match.
True.
I think they both did.
2 minutes on the clock. Are you guys buying this as the reason why TKO scrapped everything? Do you think Pat McAfee said nah and Jelly Roll said nah, we're not doing it? So they scrapped it all, and that's why we got the wild finish, so they could reset and move forward at Backlash with original heel Randy Orton.
Well, I'll tell you this. I can give you this. It sucked from the get-go, and the fans knew it. The backlash was there automatically when this was happening at the moment, and it was real. It was real time that things were happening, and it kind of sucks because I like Pat McAfee. He's a great commentator. I like Jelly Roll, great artist, singing this and that. I know it's sports entertainment, but it's when you start putting too many pieces from different things. Oh, I want to be a wrestler. For heaven's sake, you got freaking Johnny Sins from fucking Pornhub that wants to become a wrestler now all of a sudden. It's got to stop to a certain point.
I don't know who that guy is.
Logan Paul, he's fantastic. He's better than some of the wrestlers back there. I Show Speed all of a sudden now becoming, doing his thing. Give or take, these guys take years and years and years of training and preparing themselves for this. You can't have someone like Jelly Roll because he lost 200 pounds, this and that all of a sudden he can become a wrestler. Back in the day, they used to be involved. Pete Rose got tombstoned by friggin' by Kane. It's interfering like that. Nothing big, nothing like jumping, like becoming a wrestler themselves. They were there. Situation happened. Morton Downey Jr. had the cigarette. Freaking goddamn, what's his face up? Yeah, exactly. So little things like that. It
was Piper, wasn't it? Wasn't it Piper?
Yeah, Piper. Piper did it. But that's the thing. They have that little moment, and that's it.
Yeah. They insert themselves in a little bit, but they're not part of the program.
Exactly. Not becoming part of a huge storyline, which you take away from the storyline because you're adding extra elements that shouldn't even be there. That's the way I say it. Yeah. I'm sorry. I went over 2 minutes on that, but
you're good.
It's all to talk about that, man.
No, you're fine. I'm going to agree 100% with you, Dom, because I don't think I think once you start hearing fan backlash as a yes, McAfee went through some camp, but Jelly Roll didn't. They're non-wrestlers. Once you start hearing that as a celebrity, you're like, maybe I shouldn't be here. Maybe the fans really don't want me here. And that in your mind pulls you out and says, you get to where they say, I'm done. And, yes, there was always celebrities put in. Can you imagine a match back in the day with who'd we have? Like Bob Uecker or
Arsenio Hall.
Yeah, Arsenio Hall. We had Liberace in the first or second WrestleMania. What are you gonna have Liberace do?
You're gonna have Johnny.
You had Mike Tyson.
Yeah, Mike Tyson, but he's an athlete.
Yeah, he's an athlete.
Pat McAfee's an athlete.
No, he is. I'm saying he is, but Jelly Roll is.
No, but that's the thing. Like these guys, for as much as they want to say they don't listen to people like us in the IWC, they clearly do, because Jelly Roll even admitted, I heard the fan backlash. I saw it online everywhere. We weren't wanted here, so we don't belong here. Maybe we just go home and let them do their thing. And this is 2 years in a row now. TKO has meddled in the main event of WrestleMania, and it's gotten them nothing. It's 2 years in a row that the people that they put to meddle in the main event of WrestleMania have bailed out.
Yep.
Travis Scott and The Rock last year, Pat McAfee and Jelly Roll this year. I think if it would have been that Pat McAfee and Jelly Roll had something to do with WrestleMania, cool. but it's the fact how they went about it, inserting Pat McAfee in this Randy Orton angle in a feud that had 20 years to it that they could have worked with. They didn't need Pat McAfee reminding Randy Orton, we're going to bring back the Attitude Era, an era that Randy Orton wasn't even a part of.
Yep.
Randy Orton was a part of the Ruthless Aggression era.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard a good thing too. What was with the Ruthless Aggression era, there was no top guy.
No.
In the Ruthless Aggression era. It was a hot potato of championships.
Yep.
So that's what we need to get to now, is that if the WWE is stale with Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes being the top guy, for fuck's sake, let's go back to hot potatoing these championships. Make everybody a top guy. Let everybody eat. You know?
I mean,
it doesn't need to be one guy eating anymore.
During Ruthless Aggression, The Rock was the Intercontinental Champion, and he was the top seller.
Yeah.
Well, that was during Attitude Era. Rock was the Intercontinental
Was it
Champion.
Attitude?
Yeah.
Ah, man.
Most of the Attitude Era was Stone Cold and The Rock fighting over the Intercontinental Championship. And then towards the end of the Attitude Era is when we got the Rock, Stone Cold WWE Championship stuff. But
no, the Ruthless Aggression era.
Ruthless Aggression was like John Cena, United States Championship, transferring to WWE Championship. And that was the United States Championship. That title was a lot more prestigious, and people wanted that.
The tag team champions were more prestigious.
Yeah, so the main title kind of took a back seat, and there was hot potato there because all the guys were top guys at that point. Like everybody worked, and that's how they need to get back to is everybody should work. There should be no, Javon Evans, he's not, his ceiling is this, or Obafemi. We're going to keep Obafemi off TV because we want to make him look strong, and when he wrestles, it needs to have.
Now they talk about having Obafemi off TV because there's no storyline, but that's BS. See, this is the thing. They're just you can have these guys. There's a storyline out there. You take them off TV, and for what? To come back. Look what you did to Rusev. There was no storyline, and now you got him back at the Intercontinental Championship page. It's like, stop taking people and putting them on the shelf because there's no story. Royce Keys is the big example.
Yep. Royce
Keys should definitely be wrestling every freaking chance he gets. He's a big dude, and he definitely has the tools to do what he can do. And I'm tired of them keeping. There's no story. You can make a story. Stop the shit. Mm-hmm. Stop it. Plain and simple. There's just too many guys in the back doing nothing. And that's got to stop. That's got to stop. And you got to start, creating things. The mindset of back in the day, the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era, there were so many creative minds that were going in different directions, and it made it work. Right now, there's nothing working. Come on. You got the Damian Priest and R-Truth tag team champions. They should have been championship match in WrestleMania.
Well, I can't even believe you didn't bring up the real one. I thought for sure you were going to bring it up, and I was going to leave it. And it's the Killer Cross aspect of it all. They got rid of Killer Cross, gave his gimmick to Damian Priest, or not Damian Priest, to Aleister Black. It was supposed to be Aleister Black who talked Randy Orton into going back to his old ways, and then they gave it to Pat McAfee. Imagine what they were already building with Killer Cross, with Karrion Kross. If they would have had Karrion Kross being the one getting into Randy Orton's ear and turned Randy Orton heel again before WrestleMania, how much that would have sold the WWE universe versus bringing in Pat McAfee.
Of course.
Let me tell you something. Ever.
And that's the thing. Killer Kross is over the independent scene, winning championships all over the place now, doing his thing. And you got Aleister Black to come in to take his place, and you still have him off screen and doing nothing. These are the problems that they have. They don't know what to friggin' do with their the assets they have. And it's sad. Because I'm going to tell you this. The more and more TKO medals and things and do stupid things. A lot of wrestlers are going to jump ship. And it's not worth the headache. Jump ship, and believe it or not,
they might.
AEW, you can talk a lot of bullshit about AEW. If a lot of those wrestlers go to AEW, now you could have a brand that has a lot of talent and a lot of things that are going on to make it even more watchable. And WWE don't care because they're trying to make, we're WWE. No one can touch us. Bullshit. Freaking the mighty fall. And when they do fall, they fall pretty damn hard.
Yep. Yeah, but kudos to Pat McAfee and Jelly Roll for understanding the assignment and walking away when they knew that they were not wanted or needed in this.
Instead of a bash on them, like I said, I like both of them, and it's cool trying to get them involved. And I know their passion and they love wrestling, but you gotta. There's a lot that has to be done before you can actually step into that ring and do the things that these guys do. And another thing too is that you can't blame these guys being put in the storyline that had 20 years in the making. It's you could have had so many other elements. There could have been so many other layers that could have transpired in this rivalry down the road. I know Ted DiBiase Jr. He got acquitted. He's good. He's good to go.
Yeah, I love that fans are posting videos of him at that match. Just fresh off catch.
He owes $50,000 to Randy Orton.
fresh off catching a case for welfare fraud. What are you gonna do? I'm going to WrestleMania. And now he has Randy breathing down his throat because he owes him $50,000 or some shit like that. And now people should be going, how the hell did you afford tickets to WrestleMania? Where did that money come from? Well, that's a story, a conversation for a different time, my friend. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't welfare fraud because I've been acquitted of that. But all right, what were you gonna say, Sticks? Before we move on,
I just wanted to say real quick. I wouldn't go as far as say they weren't these two guys, Jelly Roll and McAfee, weren't wanted. I'll go far as to say that the gimmick that they were given didn't pan out. They knew their time to leave was then. And they took it.
I just don't think they were wanted in this feud. There was no need for either one of them.
They were needed in the feud.
No,
they were not needed.
They could have put them in a segment that was more for them, not in a major feud like this.
Yes.
And the same thing with last year with The Rock and Travis Scott.
Yeah.
Having The Rock there, yes, that's great. But then having Travis Scott in there and they do it. No, come on, man.
But sadly, I don't think that the meddling from TKO is going to stop anytime soon.
No.
Nope.
All right, moving on. WWE, we got a surprise at WrestleMania with the shocking retirement of Brock Lesnar. There's rumors of swirling and there's rumors abound about the status of Brock Lesnar for SummerSlam. WWE wants Brock Lesnar back for SummerSlam, but there's hot rumors out there that Triple H and WWE brass were caught off guard by Brock Lesnar's sudden retirement at WrestleMania because apparently Brock did not want a job to Gunther at SummerSlam. It felt that Gunther didn't need the rub from retiring Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. So instead he gave the retirement match to somebody who needed it in Obafemi. And that's why, in order to piss off or piss in the face of WWE and TKO, Brock abruptly retired after his loss to Obafemi at WrestleMania. Are you guys buying that reason for Brock's abrupt retirement at WrestleMania? Do you think he didn't want a job out to Gunther, or do you think that we will see Mr. Brock Lesnar back in a WWE ring some way, shape, or form for one last run at SummerSlam?
I'm going to tell you this right off the bat. His appearances are done. They have to do a new contract to bring his appearances back. So I think him retiring, I could be wrong. Him retiring at the point of WrestleMania was his last of his contract. If that truck money comes in, you can rest assured that he'll be there for SummerSlam. Because he actually was supposed to be there Monday night, and he didn't go Monday night. And everybody's pissed off. But I think that's more work in the that storyline, I think his contract ended, and he's like, "All right, I'll do the SummerSlam thing. Give me the bucks."
Right. I'm gonna say both on this. I think yes, it was a surprise to WWE that he retired. It was a shock and surprise to us as we're watching the match. But I also think, like Dom alludes to, if they put up a good contract for him to come back, I think he'll do it. I don't think this is going to be the last we see of Brock, but I think we'll get one more match from him during SummerSlam, maybe two.
Gunther is still owed that favor from Paul Heyman. Essentially, if you don't have the Paul Heyman somehow coercing Brock Lesnar to come back and give one more retirement match at SummerSlam and allow Gunther to retire him, you are essentially Brock went into business for himself, so they say in the wrestling business, and essentially killed Gunther's gimmick. Not only did he retire and put over Obafemi, he essentially killed Gunther's career killer gimmick because Rey Mysterio already doesn't want to be retired by Gunther. And so that fell apart. And now you got Brock Lesnar, essentially, if you believe the dirt sheets or the rumors going around, going in business for himself and abruptly retiring. So he doesn't have to lose to Gunther. I don't think anybody wants to lose to Gunther. I think the career killer gimmick is dead. WWE needs to find new directions for Gunther. He should just be wrestling on TV every week and move on from there. But
Gunther could be good wrestling every week. Have him win. You can have him win every match. You can have him win the matches. Like, is Gunther unstoppable? This guy is unbeatable, and everybody steps into the plate to try to beat Gunther, and try to do that. And that could be a gimmick. Like, you have the United States Championship, open call, come fight me. Have something like that with Gunther, and do that. On the other hand, if Brock Lesnar does not come back, and the big favor was that he wanted to retire Brock Lesnar, I could see Gunther trying to go after Braun Breaker and try to make that storyline. Have a Braun Breaker, Gunther thing. Braun Breaker interferes because Paul Heyman couldn't come up with something. He interferes to make Seth win when Seth fights Braun Breaker. And you can have that. And then you can move. Because the way things are going, we could possibly have a SummerSlam match with Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. Because we didn't get that match in WrestleMania. They wanted that match, and we can get that. That could be a potential card for SummerSlam. If you really want to intrigue the people, that SummerSlam have Gunther versus Braun Breaker in that card. Give or take. I know it's not appealing as Braun Breaker versus of Gunther versus Brock Lesnar, but it's still a potential card that could actually be a good one for SummerSlam. So we'll see. Like I said, it could be a work. I
don't think so.
Because everything we were watching, from Seth Rollins being on football shows and people getting into arguments and fighting, and Cameron with with Jey Uso, he's talking shit about the tribal chief. They had a thing that he was talking about
they're definitely doing what we've been talking about and incorporating more real world activities into the storyline. Mm-hmm. Like you said today, Seth Rollins walking off Good Morning Football, all that stuff over many weekend. But I think ultimately the way that Paul Heyman reacted, the way the announce team reacted, the way that Michael Cole was very careful with his wording when it happened, how WWE monetizes the shit out of everything to the point, that they didn't have any sort of video package ready for Brock. They didn't have any sort of retirement merchandise ready for Brock. And the way everything was treated, I think it was very abrupt. Nobody really knew that it was going to happen. Mm-hmm. I believe, and I feel like this is very on brand for Brock Lesnar, that he very much could have said, no, fuck you. I'm not jobbing out to him. I want to give it to a guy that matters. I'm going to put this guy over, especially the way it went with him being squashed.
Apparently, I heard Brock Lesnar is very high in Obafemi.
Yeah, he likes Obafemi. He wanted to do this for Obafemi. And he felt like Obafemi deserved the rub over Gunther. So that's why he did it. And when they didn't, so then now they can't move forward with having Gunther retire Brock. So
well, and the thing that people pissed off is a big storyline there. And now they're going to scrap that storyline because if he doesn't come back. But I'm just saying it could be the fact that he did that, and maybe if they come with the truckload of money. But give or take, there was also a rumor that I heard that he was wrestling hurt. And also, Brock, some kind of an injury, of what I heard. Now, I don't know if it's true, but you got that, and then plus the whole lawsuit, that's going on. There's a whole bunch of speculation out there that definitely could be contribute to his retiring too, saying, you know what, he's 50 years old. What more does he have to prove? So
nothing really.
Me personally, I think it's pretty cool that he likes Obafemi, and he gave the rub to Obafemi to retire him, and it makes Obafemi even stronger. So then when he does meet up with Gunther, that's going to be a big match.
Yeah.
So WrestleMania, we might get Gunther versus Obafemi next WrestleMania. So we'll see. Like I said,
potentially
in the world where money talks and bullshit walks, dump truck of money cures the cures anything.
Yeah. Cue the video package of Krusty the Clown crying because they get backed up with that big truckload of money up to him.
Well, you know what?
He made a stone,
They can make shirts. Thank you, Brock.
Yeah.
Brock.
And if this does turn out to be his last match, so be it. Because I will say he went out the way he wanted to go out, giving it up to someone who he thought deserves it.
Yep.
Good on him. Whether WWE and TKO wanted that to be the way he went out or not.
Yep.
So
I don't know. We'll see. Anything's possible. SummerSlam is not until August.
Yeah, we got a few months for them to figure out something. So
yeah, definitely. So
yeah, what do we got next here? Oh, that was it.
Up next, our next topic is CM Punk. Listen, with WWE being in Vegas, there's a lot of speculation running rampant online in the IWC and the dirt sheets right now that because of the ticket prices for the event, the astronomical asking prices for the WWE World stuff, the astronomical ticket prices for autographs from wrestlers, that and the lack of security, that fans were a little bit more aggressive when it became to the wrestlers and a little bit more aggressive when it came to personal space. You have Drew McIntyre talking about being followed around. You have Randy Orton, where there's images of Randy Orton being followed through the casino by a slew of fans. You have Booker T saying that somebody followed him in the bathroom. And we're trying to record him in the bathroom. And then you get the big one that TMZ got a hold of CM Punk smacking away a fan's phone after WrestleMania, as the fan was trying to not only film Bayley, but film CM Punk's wife, AJ Lee, and an embrace in a private moment those two were having together as friends. Now, do you feel like fans are getting out of control and that they need to check themselves and this is a little out of line?
All right.
Or do you feel like CM Punk was in the right in this? Or do you feel like CM Punk owes this guy an apology and that fans weren't out of control?
I'm gonna set the record straight with this too. Last year we had the Rhea Ripley thing with the fans like overpowered her, and she was she was upset with that. Look, there's a thin line. Look, I got two things. If you're a celebrity, a musician, a star, it comes with the territory. If someone sees you on the street, they're gonna run up to you. Someone see, like people in restaurants. I've been in restaurants where there's been celebrities in restaurants, and the one hell no is leave them alone, let them with their family to eat. Don't ask them for an autograph. Don't bother them when their family is and that. If they get up and they're leaving, you can go, sir, I'm sorry to bother you. Would you mind signing this or this and that? And if they say no, I'm with my family, and that, you should respect that. You should respect that because they're going out, yes, and at the same time, yes, they're in the spotlight because they're a celebrity, and that goes with every celebrity. There are some things that, you know, some people can be a pain. If you're talking to somebody shoves a camera in your face, then I can say, you know what the hell are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but some fans are aggressive, like the fan that freaking that groped
Cora Jade.
Yeah, Cora Jade. You know, stuff like that shouldn't be tolerated.
Which, to be fair, we only have one side of. We only have her turning the camera on, calling him a sick pervert, and he said he didn't do it. I'm gonna believe her.
But you know what?
But there are two sides to every story.
The way he looks, I believe he did it.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm sorry. Because someone like that, but give or take.
He definitely looks like the kind of gentleman that might partake in his own brand, if you know what I mean.
You know, give or take. I know CM Punk is a hothead, you know, when he goes to things, and I know he's protective of his wife, and I understand that. But if the guy was taking just video of them hugging, you know, or doing something, that's one thing. But if the guy was saying, if he was saying something rude, obnoxious, or you know, just being creepy, you know, then give or take, you know. But
in Pepsi Phil's defense, Bailey pushed the guy's phone away. Bailey asked the guy to leave, and they didn't. And so now you've got a man who is becoming protective of his wife, doing what a man should do, standing up, protecting his wife by asking the guy by pushing the guy's phone and asking to leave. It's not that big a deal. It's not like he punched the guy. It's not like he choked the guy out. He pushed his phone away, and the guy went to TMZ and now is saying, I'm not going to press charges against him. I just want an apology. And when the whole video came out, he looks like the jackass, not Punk, because you see Bailey push his phone away and ask him to go away. That they're asking you in a private moment to go away. I get what you're saying, where if they're out on the street, yes, I will never bother a celebrity who is eating or with their family. But if you pass them on the street, hey, you know, aren't you so-and-so? Can I get a picture real quick? Or aren't you so-and-so? Can I get an autograph real quick? Don't follow these guys to airports. No. Don't wait in airports. Don't wait in hotel lobbies. Don't follow them in the pisser, for God's sakes.
Well, didn't Damian Priest have said something about he dealt with them before?
Yeah, he dealt with the same guy apparently before.
So this guy was an asshole. So basically, this guy was an asshole, and he was asked before, and he didn't listen. So, you know what, CM Punk, you don't need to say an apology. He's an asshole, guy.
Don't follow, like, when they're in their hotel, essentially treat them like they're in their home. Don't follow them around like what they did with Randy Orton, flocking him so he could barely get around. Like, cool. If you're catching him walking through the casino, hey, can I get a picture with you, dude? I'm a big fan. And then go about your business. Don't whip out your fucking 30 pop figures to get autographed and all that bullshit.
No,
like,
hey, can you sign something for me? Sure. I got a picture though. You bring over the whole big box.
Yeah. Like, come on, man. Just have some respect. And,
exactly.
And to the gooners out there, there's 3 really good looking wrestling fans right here, but there are some atrocious wrestling fans that don't understand what hygiene is and look like they've never seen a naked woman in their lives outside of their mother the day they were born or a TV. I understand a lot of these women are amazing looking.
Yes.
I've been face to face with Jade Cargill. She is absolutely stunning. I've been face to face with Brooke Breaker. Absolutely stunning. Don't go grabbing their ass. Don't go groping them. Don't be a sweaty nerd getting in their personal space. As someone who was a bigger guy at one point, I know what it meant to be sweaty. And I knew when I was sweating and stinky to say, stay my distance. I don't want to smell me. They don't want to smell me.
Actually,
so, yeah, don't bathe in Axe body spray. Don't get offense if these beautiful women don't want you groping all over them. just because you're a fan and you're paying their hard-earned money doesn't give you the right to touch them inappropriately.
Exactly.
These are, at the end of the day, people. They're with their family. They entertain you. Great. There's time and a place for it. Understand that. Respect their boundaries. That's all I'm saying. And that's just a word of advice for not only the IWC, because we kind of float between two realms, which a lot of comic book and wrestling fans do float between the same realms, between comic book conventions and wrestling conventions. Same rules apply at both places. Yep. Hygiene, wash your nasty ass, use deodorant, personal space.
Exactly.
That's it.
And wash your hands when you go to the bathroom.
Don't bug these people when they're eating or trying to get from one point to another. If you're walking and you pass each other and go, oh my God, you're so-and-so. Can I get a quick picture? Cool. Have your shit ready to go. Have your phone ready to go. Quick, let them go. Don't sit there and be like, okay, well, let me now take one with my cousin, and now take one with this person. Now let me go ahead and just, do this real quick. Yeah. Sign this 6 things.
Come on. Leftover saggy. Come on, really?
What about the pickle parties? What's on this personal life? That's on Dom. But
listen,
anything you want to add?
Pickle parties, you don't grope.
Anything you want to add, Sticks?
No, I mean that you're both right on point. The only thing I'll say is that and the thing coming out also about this thing is the whole security element of where they're at, whether it was not enough. Obviously it's not enough because these guys are getting to be standing right next to the wrestlers. Like here he is with CM Punk. If they're gonna have these guys at a certain hotel, like I guess that's the only hotel all the wrestlers were at. Have more security. Have more security for these guys.
But it's a casino too, so at some point, no matter what security, they're gonna walk through the general population. And they've got to expect that the general population is going to.
But there's certain entrances that you can have a couple more.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. More security. More people have been like, nope, we got to go. Handlers, things like that. But the problem, I think, too, is that WWE treats them like independent contractors. So they probably feel like these wrestlers should supply their own security because the hotel probably isn't staffed enough for the level of security they need.
Probably not.
Especially Dom, someone who handles security. Like, the hotel's probably not staffed enough for that. I'm sure WWE is probably going to come out and say, well, they needed to provide their own security. And the crazy part is that TKO has not spoken out about all of this. TKO has not taken any stance about this. Nope. WWE hasn't spoken out about this. WWE hasn't taken a stance about it. So what's going to come out of all of this? Obviously, WWE is turning the other cheek to it. Obviously, CM Punk is not receiving any sort of punishment for it. He was there on Monday night. It looks like all the dirt sheets and maybe he changed his plans, but it doesn't appear that he's going to be taking time off like originally was said. I just think TKO, WWE, you got to do better here and provide more security
for
your wrestlers. And IWC is the most egregious offenders. Have some respect for these people. Yes, they're there to entertain you, but they're not there to do everything to your beck and call. Just like the lady who was trying to flame Obafemi a few weeks ago because Obafemi didn't want to do what she wanted to do during her meet and greet and all that shit. They're here to entertain you to a point, but they're not here to be your fucking lapdogs or your personal jesters.
They're not your train monkey.
Exactly. But moving on here. Dom alluded to it a little bit earlier tonight, but WWE announced that Night of Champions 2026's location date will be Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, June 28th, 2025. Is there no low? Like to me, this is like the lowest of the low for TKO and WWE. And I'm not even going to say WWE. I'm going to say TKO in general because they're the ones that called the shots as there was leaked leaked audio from one of the top guys in TKO saying that they call the shots, the decisions begin and end with them. How do you feel about that decision to send the roster over to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, amidst the conflicts that are going on in the Middle East.
Boo.
Greed.
Why?
Greed. You know, they don't give a shit about the well-being. Yes, you're getting a shitload of money. And like I said, money talks, bullshit walks. And that's the way they see things. They don't care about safety concerns. They don't care about anything. You know, you see it with the wrestlers going through crowds and the fans acting up. So what makes you think that they're going to care about sending them over to a place where there's war going on? You know, and I understand they want to go and entertain this and that, but you got to have a line of like, listen, this is happening. Let's have a change of plans. Stay far away from there as possible until things de-escalate on what's happening. Right now, everything's at an all-time high, you know, and hate talking about damn politics. You know, you just want to have fun and watch these shows and be enjoyed by what they're doing, what they're putting their bodies on the line for us, you know, and their safety should be 100%.
Yeah, top priority.
Exactly, the top priority. So sending him to Riyadh, you know, in June, that's a bad move because right now things are happening still. You know, and it's like, not going to say things can happen here, but the whole fact is that you're sending him to an area where war is going on right now.
It's more like, listen, it's more likely to happen over there.
They're an active target in the conflict that is taking place.
Exactly.
In the Middle East between the United States, Iran, and Israel. Like it is what it is. You call a spade a spade.
Yep.
And you're sending performers, independent contractors, into an active war zone that is actively being attacked by strikes. And my only question is do they have some sort of insurances from the current administration that's in office, given that Linda McMahon is part of that administration and she is the mother-in-law of Triple H, who is the chief content officer of WWE?
Even if they do, they can't guarantee shit when it comes to that area over there. That area there is a hotbed of bullshit going on over there, and I wouldn't want to step my toe if I was the WWE TKO.
You know, maybe they'll start
because of what's going on over there.
You know,
that would be. It'd be like if there was like you're wanting to do a PLE in France. Well, the French Revolution is going on right now, but we'll still go over. You know, why even put your people into that kind of position in jeopardy?
It sounds like it feels like they're future proofing a little bit, where they're saying, okay, yeah, we're going to agree to this June 28th. It's 2 months away. Hopefully all this has died down by then. You know, I think that's really what they're banking on, but
it's not a domestic dispute over there. It's
right.
It's a full blown.
Seems to be a very volatile situation.
Not a race war, but it's a church. It's a church thing. It's a religious war. Yeah. Religious war over there. It's not. It hasn't gone away in 1,000 years. It's not going to go away in 2 months.
Yep. And look, this is the thing. Any give or take, any place you go to, you know, all hands on deck, and you have to have safety precautions. You know, I know that even with sports teams that are traveling and stuff like that, you want to have the highest security or the highest safety protocols when it comes to talent. Actors and movie stars and athletes. It's all in the same realm. And I understand, and I'm not taking away from the fact that they're fans over there. And I understand that they don't get stuff like this. And it's unfortunate that we're in a conflict, and we've always been in conflict with the Middle East, over and over again. But they should have some kind of let's play it safe, have it here. Because remember 2 years ago, was it 2 years ago or 3 years ago, when they went to Saudi Arabia and the plane was grounded? They were held there, and people say that they were held there, and they couldn't leave, and it was like a whole big debacle, like a couple of years ago.
I think it was more than a couple of years ago.
Well, it was Well, it was wherever it was. There was a situation when they were there, and there was no war going on there. But the whole fact is that things do happen. But like I said, why would you want to put them in harm's way? You know, knowing that there's a conflict going on. You know, the safe bet is here. Like I said, not to say that anything can happen here. You know, we have things that happen all the time here, but
right,
give it to a place that actually is neutral and it is a safer area for the performers to do their job and make us happy and entertain us.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, I understand the kids over there in Riyadh and Saudi Arabia. You know, they love this stuff, but you gotta blame the leadership, the leaders, man, of their country, man, the leaders of this country. You gotta blame both because there's just so much going on. They should play it safe and say scrap it and locate it someplace else.
They could say, you know, until they're blue in the face, oh, well, we're going to continue it. We're going to continue it. We're going to continue it. I secretly think that they're hoping that for some way, shape, or form, the U.S. government steps in and says, no, we can't. So they can go, oh, you know, sorry, we'll reschedule. So Saudi Arabia can't be like, we want our money back, because they don't want to give that money back. But either way, this isn't a place for politics.
Yeah.
It's just
right.
The nature of the beast and the temperature of the current situation. It's not a smart move. It doesn't look good on WWE's part. I am part of the IWC. I am here for giving all wrestling fans across the world a chance to see these performers live. I think Saudi Arabia, you know, if they're going to go there and perform, good on you. But shame on WWE and TKO for potentially putting their superstars and independent contractors in the line of fire in a potentially unsafe situation, especially if cooler heads have not prevailed by the time this event comes up. But that is it. That's it for our off the top rope, our 2 minutes, which clearly turned into more than 2 minutes for each topic, where we talk about the hottest news stories of the week. But now we turn it over when we let our resident dirt sheet master, Dirty Dom, cook, where he's going to talk to us about all the breaking news that's swirling around the internet on Off the Mat presents Dirty Dom's Dirt Sheets. Dom, what are the dirt sheets cooking on this week?
Well, we're going to rant about Randy Orton. So Randy Orton just mentioned that he revealed he has 4 years remaining on his contract. So, you know, he says nothing lasts forever. I just turned 46. I do have 4 years left of my contract, and maybe when it's over, I'll get the Undertaker schedule and pop around for WrestleMania every year and then ride until the wheels fall off, literally. So I guess 50 years old is the limit, you know, for a lot of the wrestlers, because your body can only handle so much. You know, you're battered and abused in 30s, you're destroyed in your 40s, and then by the time you're 50, you're lucky you can walk and friggin' and do things. So Randy Orton retiring, well, somewhat retiring after his contract is up, or having a reduced schedule that he pops up for like special events here and there. What do you guys think? You guys think that Randy's going to go off into the sunset, you know, after his 4 years?
Sure. I think so. Why not? I mean, 4 years, that's a good timeline. Once you get to where he's at now, and if he's by that time, he'll have at least maybe 2 more championships on his belt, right? So
yeah. I think it's all going to depend on how many more injuries he acquires down the road. What's the legitimacy of this back injury? Because I mean, he came back, and we haven't really seen him wrestle since Elimination Chamber. So, what's the legitimacy of this back injury he has? What's the legitimacy of all the other injury he's going to cure? Because he seems to be pretty injury prone. How serious are some of the? I mean, didn't he have spinal fusion or neck fusion or something like that? He had some sort of
neck fusion.
Thing. So, what's the seriousness in that? Like, we're looking at that with Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is supposedly taking a spot on WWE LFG as a trainer. for that next season while he's rehabbing his neck. I think it just really depends on the situation as far as his injury goes, his body, how well he holds up, and can he continue to do it?
Right.
Yeah. See,
Right. No, that's anybody really in the roster.
I think you're going to see a lot of wrestlers rethink things as we got the Hulk Hogan documentary coming out, and we hear that he was taking enough painkillers and high level painkillers to be a lethal dose just to be able to function towards the end of his life. So you kind of see the same thing with what the likes of Jake the Snake Roberts are going through, Lex Luger. You kind of get all of that, and you're kind of seeing all that play out on social media now with all these older guys and Mick Foley and The Undertaker, and how much are you willing to put your body through that into older age just for the thrill of a buck?
Well, listen, Randy also stated that Hollywood's not for him. He wants to wrestle. He enjoys wrestling in Hollywood. He stated that. Also, my man is a self-made millionaire too. He's got money. He's got a lot of money. He's got how many kids he has? Like 5, 6 kids.
I don't know.
He's got a lot of kids. So he's got money. He's got a lot of things going on. He's also got he has I think he owns a couple of gyms. He has weed dispensaries. He has all that stuff because that he loves his weed. So
I guess I don't know.
I didn't know that about Randy Orton.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I didn't know that either.
When he was with what's his face? Bro.
RVD.
KR Bro. Freaking RK Bro.
Oh, Matt Riddle.
Oh,
Matt Riddle's a big weed head, man.
Oh, I knew that.
Oh, Matt Riddle is. That
also, Rob Van Dam was a big weed head. We all know that, but he has a lot of money in businesses and stuff like that. So he really doesn't need this. He does it because he enjoys this. So you know what? To all the fans out there, enjoy these 4 years, and just be happy that there's 4 more years left of his contract, and just enjoy the moments. Hopefully Randy will be champion again.
I'm sure
down the road, and we'll see what happens.
I think a lot of that too, because if you listen to Paige was on Stephanie McMahon's podcast today, and she kind of said the same thing. She said, this next contract, these next couple of years on this deal are probably going to be my last. This is going to be my last run. But I think a lot of them look at it as like, how is my body going to feel in 4 years? I'm coming back, in Paige's case, just coming back from a serious neck injury that took her career away from her for so many years in the first place. Like, and all of her personal troubles that she was in, and her addiction problems that she was in, and like, where am I going to be? What's my body going to be like in 4 years? So I think it's easy to say right now, yeah, this is probably my last run. Like Becky Lynch too. She even said, this is my last contract. And then she kind of walked those back and was like, well, it could potentially be my last contract depending on how if the fans want me here, how I feel. Do I want a second kid? Just basic everyday life things. And so I think that's kind of the same thing with Randy. Is 4 years is a good timeline. That's what my contract is. How's my body going to feel? Am I going to feel good in 4 years? Am I going to be beat up in 4 years? I think it's just hard it's easy to say, yeah, this is it for me right now.
But at the moment, you got to see where you are.
Right.
Look at Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, another one, said that he wants to do football. He wants to be a commentator after he's said and done. So you pick a career. And look, wrestling takes you out when it beats the shit out of you to a point where you're lucky if you're standing, you're lucky if you're able to walk, you're lucky if you have all your marbles. It's the abuse. And look, when you have these entertaining glorified stuntmen that are doing these things for you to give you enjoyment, you got to applaud them. And if the contract comes to an end and they don't want to do it anymore, you walk into the sunset. Thank you so much. Thank you for all you did, for the enjoyment that you had through the years. Now we'll see what happens with Randy, man. Randy's a popular guy. Maybe, like I said, maybe after the 4 years, you might turn around and go, you know what? I'm not done yet. And we'll see what happens. All right. How about this one? Demon Finn Balor, Demon Stephanie Vakir versus Dominic Mysterio, Liv Morgan. Anyone interested in that match?
Yeah.
So rumors are currently circulating online, WWE may be planning a blockbuster mixed tag match: Stephanie Vakir and the Demon Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan. Nothing's officially confirmed yet, but if this match happens, it could be chaos if it does happen.
What does Demon Stephanie Vakir look like? Because
she's got the dead, Day of the Dead.
Then at what point did she just become Thunder Rosa?
Maybe that.
Right.
Maybe Thunder Rosa. Maybe she is.
Because I mean, Thunder Rosa kind of has the same gimmick. She wears the De los de la Muertes, Day of the Dead makeup with the head dress and all that. So, at what point is it just feel like Thunder Rosa? I think it would kind of depend for me. What does Demon Stephanie Vakir look like? And now that we got the Demon back, I don't want to overuse Demon Finn Balor. I want the Demon to go back to being a spectacle.
Listen, the next time you bring the Demon Finn Balor back, SummerSlam. It's a long way off, months away.
I don't think you bring the Demon Finn Balor back until he's challenging for the championship.
I know, but if you still have one more match with Dominic Mysterio, if you do it, because like I said, Stephanie Vakir is going to wind up changing. I think she's going to wind up changing. Like I said, becoming heel down the road, or changing her personality, from what she is now. Like she brings her old gimmick back, and you never know. Like I said, it could be cool. That'd be a match I want to pay for to see if it does if it does happen. We'll see what happens with that. There's one more. Hold on one second. There's one more match, more thing that I saved. Let me see. Here it is. Going back to the security with the wrestlers and stuff like that. Jay Cargill had one that claims a fan asked her to spit on him. It's like, the fetishes these people have and things that people want, but it's just crazy that fans, just go over the edge. And that's the thing, to bring up the whole situation again, we're talking about, they're people too. They can get offended too. Their persona, what they play on television, is an act. To the people out there that don't understand between the reality of acting and real life, it is not okay if you want to smell their panties. It is not okay if you want someone to spit on them.
Dom just elevated this craziness.
Whoa. We went from spitting to sniffing panties.
I went from talking about personal hygiene and showering to Dom now going to spitting on sexual fantasies and sniffing panties.
I'm sorry, but some of these fans have to understand there's that thin line, and you can't go over that edge of thinking it's okay, because you see them on TV and you're a fan. We're all fans. There's not a right time to say all these things unless you're actually dating that woman, and you can do whatever you want. If you're dating her, this and that, and she wants to do that, then fine. You're a lucky guy. But as a fan, come on, man. You gotta stop the craziness and stop bothering these wrestlers and harassing them for who they are, because they're regular people, and they can play a bad bitch on television and be that way on TV. They can be the most gentle person in their personal life, or who they are for real, because acting, and that's what acting is all about. All right. That being said, I think I have one more. There was like something else I wanted to look at. I had saved. So what's this? All right. I want to go back. This is gonna be a long one.
Oh no.
Really quick. No,
Which
really
is it?
quick
The
one.
long one or really quick?
well, I'll read it. I'm just saying that it talks about.
Dom's talking about his personal life right now. I got the long one, but it goes really quick.
It goes with no. So apparently this on the thing it says Triple H ruined the WWE, and they try to explain why he ruined the WWE. It's yeah, it's pretty long. Like I said,
We got to stop blaming Triple H for this. It's not his fault. It's TKO.
Yeah.
It's Mark Shapiro. It's
not helping
Ari
anything,
Emanuel.
but
We got to stop blaming Triple H. It's not his fault. It's not.
And you know what? It's not his fault. That's the whole thing.
He's just the face of the booking, so he catches the brunt of the force. But we have to do better and point the finger where it belongs, and it does not belong at Triple H.
Nope.
Not 100% anyways.
Yeah, I mean, he's got something to do with it, but it's not 100% his fault. He's taking he's like anybody else. He's taking orders from the top.
It was a long thing about the Triple H, but the fact is that it sucks that he has to take the blunt of things because remember the bosses are there to throw you into the bus.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't want to be freaking blamed for the shit.
Sometimes they back up too.
Exactly. So someone has to stand up and actually definitely take the blame. So unfortunately,
and it sucks for him because he's got to take orders in answer to Nick Khan, Ari Emanuel, to Shapiro. He has to answer all these people.
Yep.
And they're not the ones catching the shit. He is.
He is exactly.
He's the one catching the shit from the fans.
It's kind of like the Kathleen Kennedy thing with Star Wars. You go back to that because basically she, is the president and everything went to her and all that stuff like that because of all the other bad choices. But that being said, Triple H, there might have been some things that Triple H did, but to drop all the blame on him, it's not fair. It really isn't fair.
It's not.
All right. One more thing really quick. This is a quick one. So we're going to have the niece of former Iron Maiden drummer to make WWE debut next week. That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
That is cool. So if you're an Iron Maiden fan, you're going to have a piece of rock and roll. And to come and think about it, you might have a rock and roll persona.
What's the name of that guy that they have on their albums all the time? Eddie?
Yeah, so it says
she's dressed up as Eddie all the time. Maybe that'd be cool.
Yeah, so she's going to be in the NXT. Go to NXT, and she's going to show up there. But there's. Let me see.
We got some pretty big SmackDown rumors for tomorrow night. I don't know if you saw that, but according to WrestleVotes, they're saying that WWE is considering a presentation refresh for the Blue brand.
Yep.
However, the overall identity of the show is expected to remain intact. There's no current plans to change the theme song, stage setup, or logos. And that big call up tomorrow night is JC Jane going to debut on SmackDown, as well as potentially we saw Jacob Fatu come to Raw Monday night. We might see names like CM Punk and Rey Mysterio make their way to SmackDown. The big news too is that WWE is either going to institute a draft, but to shake up the rosters, we're supposed to get some big roster shakeups. But the main one that seems to be floating around is them either potentially ending the brand split altogether and having talent go across shows, or B, just doing a roster refresh, and just having people show up, kind of like they did with the transfer portal versus a full blown WWE draft.
They should have people crossing over. I think if you're a champion, if you're not a champion, you can cross over to different shows. I think that should be more of the deal where you can have interactions. But you have to watch both shows because it does get a little boring if you have like one brand and they're fighting all those same people over and over again. I'd like to see somebody come in from SmackDown and be part of the party or stuff like that. So get to do something like that. But who knows? Like I said, but look, as much as I'm not a big fan of the draft, but it did have its benefits, the draft. SmackDown.
Hold on. Don't sit there and say you're not a big fan. You've been asking for the draft for like 2-3
years and a half.
The draft is right there. I'm just saying it because it was something that was supposed to happen. I'm not a big fan. I like the interaction of
the draft is happening.
We've been
Ethan
doing
Page
this
is coming to
show.
the main roster.
We've been doing this show for 2 years now. We've been through 2
Brock's gonna
WrestleMania,
show up.
and you've talked about the WWE draft ad nauseum.
Oh,
Don't
geez.
sit here and say you're not a fan of the draft.
We could have a QR code in the corner at one point. If Dom says the draft, you drink.
The drinking game now, but that actually is pretty cool. We'll see what happens. You know, and anyway, I like the way to shake up. I'm glad that the Street Profits are back.
No,
Yeah, I mean, there's
would-
gonna have to be something because Raw, and I really think that Ricky Saints does come up because, you've gotten on Raw. What did you have? You had, we know we got Ethan Page. We know we got Sol Ruca. We know we're getting Joe Hendry to Raw. You got the Street Profits returning. You got who else on Raw? I think Paige is going to end up being on SmackDown. You're going to have
Paige is a tag team champion now, so
right, but I think she's going to be assigned to SmackDown.
Okay.
You got I mean, what are you going to give SmackDown? JC Jane. You got Rhea Ripley going to SmackDown.
You're right. Hey, my last job, 89. You're right. When done right, it's good. But they just lost their way of doing this. I just don't understand, how they lost the way of doing the draft right. But
you don't have the talent. Like, it seems like all the new talent has come to Raw. All the calls came to Raw because you had Javon Evans on Raw. Oba Femi's coming to Raw for all intents and purposes. Like, what does SmackDown get? Royce Keys? What else?
Ricky Saints when he does come up, and then he's
potentially Ricky Saints, potentially CM Punk, Rey Mysterio. They're getting Rhea Ripley now. JC Jane. Like, you gotta round out that SmackDown roster.
I think Blake Monroe too. We're talking about Blake Monroe. I know they want to keep it down there, but I think she's going to be on the way up. It's really nothing else for her to do down there. I love to see my girl Jada Parker come up, but she's still not coming up.
Jada Parker hasn't done enough. She barely gets TV time in NXT.
Yeah, true.
Kalani Jordan, maybe. That's the other thing too, is you got to remember that a lot of these stars are in relationships with main roster people, and WWE likes to keep these couples together. So Carmelo Hayes is on SmackDown, so that most likely means that Kiana James, when she comes, or not Kiana James, I just said her name too.
Lil Vice?
No.
Jordan.
Anyways, his wife, Kalani Jordan. When Kalani Jordan comes up, she's probably gonna go to SmackDown because that's where Carmelo Hayes is. That's why Lash Legend's on SmackDown, because that's where Trick Williams is.
Yep.
So I don't know. I like the roster shakeup a little bit here. I just don't know if they're going to benefit fully from a draft, because it just seems like when it comes to talent and Netflix is going to get their first pick, and USA Network and CW are just kind of getting the shit end of the stick a little bit. But
well, look, you got to look at it this way. Also, it was very uncharacteristic of WWE for many injuries that they got. Yes, injuries do happen, but it was just overabundance of injuries that came all at once. So it was kind of hard to run a show with a lot of your main talent out on injury, to try to make things happen. So now people are coming back. They're gonna start. Things are gonna start to build up, and like I said, Raw did get the bulk of the good guys from NXT, and I'm, at the end of the day, SmackDown will get the rest, and then eventually they can have their look, if they don't do the draft, the crossover back aspect is really cool. Champions should be able to cross back and forth. Like, you take somebody to challenge Becky Lynch for the Intercontinental Championship from SmackDown. So you can have different things to make some cool moves, like a chessboard. But other than that, like I said, the people are coming back from injury. Sheamus is still on the road of recovery, coming back eventually.
Hopefully.
Kevin Owens. They said Kevin Owens by the end of the year might be back. So
I don't know. With him going to LFG, that kind of tells me he's going to be out for a while.
Yeah, he's probably he's still going to recover, but he can still. We'll see. We'll definitely see with the the future holds.
All right. Well, that concludes what the dirt sheets are talking on this week. So says King of the Dirt Sheets, our very own Dirty Dom Tober. Now we're going to do our 3 count. And the way we do the 3 count is this is how we review this week's programming, where we go through SmackDown, Raw, NXT, and usually AEW, if any ever watch us, where we give the best moment, the worst moment, and their what were they thinking. But we're going to put this on hold, and we're going to turn our attention to WrestleMania. Well, should we start with SmackDown from last week and then do WrestleMania, or should we do WrestleMania and then come back and talk SmackDown?
Let's just do WrestleMania. Let's do WrestleMania and then the Raw after WrestleMania.
All right, sounds good.
Just do that.
That works for me.
Yeah.
All right, let's start off with our WrestleMania 42 results. I will hand it over to the Stixmeister himself, and we'll see how well Steiner / Stixmath screwed us all over.
I know I lost this. I lost it. I lost like all the matches.
Let's find out who is our IWC off the mat champion when it comes to WrestleMania 42.
All right, let's just go right into night 1. We'll go right through the matches. Usos and LA Knight defeated Logan Paul, Austin Theory, ISHO Speed. ISHO Speed towards the end went back on Logan Paul and did the high jump from the top. So there was not the only person that took Logan Paul was Dom and his little team.
I thought that we were gonna have a moment that he felt that he was gonna freaking pin LA Knight. My bad.
No, hey, I mean, it's it's all speculation. So
yeah, tried.
It wasn't not a bad match. It was a good opening match. It was it's on the ESPN2, so they got a good look at what, especially with I'm high on ISO Speed. I know he's a newbie. I know he doesn't have a wrestling background, but I think he showed his own on
somebody
Saturday.
get this man a drug test. If he's high on ISO Speed.
Yep. So, you guys got anything to say about the match?
No, not really.
No,
it was kind of whatever. It was like 7 minutes, if that.
Yeah, I was gonna put the times on there, but I didn't.
Yeah,
it was like
didn't even figure wrestle that much. Austin Theory didn't have time to wrestle that much. I think Logan Paul had a couple of.
Paul was on the floor half the time.
I don't do it. Yeah. So basically, it was all like just a setup that it was like ISO Speed. It was more for ISO Speed. It was more
good for ISO Speed for going for it and doing the splash from the ring post into the table.
Yeah.
Did you watch? So I was watching the replay when he landed on Logan Paul. He landed on him. I know his knees hit the table. His
knees landed on, yeah. He kind of need him.
Like his knees, like he just cupped over him and went.
Well, he was also flailing like he was
flying.
Yeah.
He was flailing.
I'll tell you what, man, I got to give him credit because standing on that thing and looking at that is, you're up there. It's like you're up there, but I know it's not a far distance, but it's pretty far when you're up there. That vertical, so you start to get little friggin' heights.
Yep. All right. Yep. That wasn't a bad showing. So, up next we had. What do we have here? Jacob Fatu defeating Drew McIntyre.
0 for 2.
And Dom goes 0 for 2.
Jesus, Dom, read the room a little bit here, buddy.
Hey, I'm sorry, man. I want to give it credits due, man. Fucking McIntyre should have won on a high note, man.
Yeah, Dom's high on Drew McIntyre. He has been for quite a while now. I don't blame him for picking him. I mean, I guess I could, but he likes Drew. He picked him. It wasn't a bad pick because this really could have gone either way.
The only downside to this match, it's freaking goddamn unsanctioned match. It should have been all over the arena, as Matt said too. It should have happened. Should have had some crazy stuff like that. But I understand why. I understand why they had it isolated to a certain point because Drew is going out to do a movie for the next 3 months.
Yeah, but Matt also said, what's the difference between this unsanctioned match and the street fight that we got with Dominic Mysterio and the
Absolutely
Demon.
nothing.
Exactly, nothing. It was the
There was
same
nothing except wordage.
Yeah, the word and
Your wordage was
So
different.
when you think a
Your outcome was
lumberjack
the
match
same.
and a strap match and a dog eating contest match and a freaking all these different matches, they're all basically the same thing.
Dog eating
You know
contest.
the one thing. You know what the one thing that's really the same? That there is no disqualification, so anything goes. So you can have constant people coming in and interfere.
This was a no sanction match. It didn't count anyways. So it does. Neither one of them get a win or a loss on their record. It doesn't count. It was pointless. They should have done a Hell in a Cell. They should have done a last man standing match, or they should have just had a goddamn street fight. At the end of the day, this match was pointless, and the fact that it was unsanctioned meant nothing.
Yeah,
it meant Drew McIntyre couldn't use a toolbox.
Dumb word.
Otherwise, it meant nothing.
It was actually, made me laugh. It reminded me of the remember the Ulafalo match, the freaking goddamn match they had. The Ulafalo is like everything goes unsanctioned. The Ulafalo match. It was with Solo, wasn't it? Solo and
then Roman.
When they had that match. I'm like, come on, it's the same shit. All these matches mean nothing. There's like no crazy technical that outcome.
What is it? Samoan rules match?
Samoan
Samoan rules match, which is just a street fight too. That's just a street fight. All right. Up next, we had the. Come on. Here we go.
And somewhere Kyle Stark is spinning in his chair.
Yep. Though Paige comes up. Well, first off, the bells come out. Give the little speech. Can't go. I got someone who's gonna go for me. Paige comes out, takes Nikki's spot, and in the course of the match, they become the new women's tag.
That's anything. Nikki Bella looked good there.
She does. She looks amazing.
She looks amazing.
Mm-hmm. So does Paige.
Hey, what do you want? Money talks, man. When you have money, man, who was crazier? Was she the psycho when she was dating John Cena, or John Cena was the psycho? Because when you watch the reality show with John Cena and her, John Cena was like nuts. Don't touch at the dinner table. Don't touch this. Don't touch that. Don't do this, guys. That's 3 o'clock.
I don't put too much stock in that stuff because it's all scripted.
You saw that, right?
Yeah.
Like she was like, so I don't know.
Yeah. It's all cutting room floor stuff. You don't know what it's actually.
I don't see them holding these belts long. I see them losing the minute Nikki Bella is cleared. I think they're gonna lose and to take the strap off Paige, and then the Bellas will win the titles back as a tag team down the line.
I don't know. I mean, why do that then? Why?
Because this
why
is the
not
whole
just have
reason.
why not just have them retained if you're just gonna drop the belt later on?
Because how do you get Paige out of the picture? You have to. The whole reason the Bellas are back is for one more run for these women tag team champions. So you got to put the belt on Nikki Bella at some point. So in order to get it off of Paige, you either A, have to have Paige revoke it to her, which would be stupid, or B, have the Bellas lose and turn on Paige and then have the Bellas win the belts back at some point down the line so they can be a legitimate tag team before their retirement run is up.
I don't know. I would probably run it a little bit and then have once Nikki becomes cleared, maybe have a spot where Brie and Paige, have a falling out.
Oh, so you would have them do it exactly like I just said.
Yeah. Well, a little different.
Because I literally just said they're going to have them.
Yeah, but I'm talking down the road. You're talking right away.
I said when Nikki's cleared, and then they'll have Paige. They'll drop the belts and put them back on Brie and Nikki.
We're on the same page, I guess.
Yeah. No, they're not.
All right, Dom Jr. I see how it is.
All right.
Oh, we're just going to skip over the Women's Intercontinental Championship match, huh?
Sorry. Oh. I'll go back. All right. Becky Lynch defeats AJ Lee and becomes the Women's Intercontinental Champion once again.
This match did nothing for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. And putting the belt back on Becky, I feel like was a bad call. Like I said before, it would have been more interesting, better booking for WWE to use history on their side and replay the hits and have the likes of Sol Ruka, maybe JC Jane, Paige, anybody come back and challenge, AJ Lee, have an impromptu match, have AJ Lee drop the belt and Raw, and actually have the Raw after WrestleMania be what? Unpredictable. But no, we're just going to put the belt on Becky again, making her a 3-time Women's Intercontinental Championship, and effectively meaning that WWE doesn't feel like they have anybody mid-card that's worthy of raising this belt. That's what this tells me.
I hate to say it, but I kind of agree with that. They really don't. They don't have anybody. All the ladies are either forming tag teams, breaking up tag teams to go back into singles, to going back into tag team again later down the road to break up.
Funny? Jessica Carr continues to be the one every time Becky Lynch fights. And and Matt's like there should be that she screws up.
It's got to come to head at some point.
Jessica Carr is a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
but I mean, if we're just going to keep spinning our tires with these women's mid cards, we're going to take the belt off Julia, put it back on Julia, take the belt off Becky, put it back on Becky.
So,
after one pay-per-view, what's the point? Move on, get rid of them then, because they're not doing anything good for the people who deserve them, and the belts that they're supposed to be. There was a time where the Intercontinental Championship for the men was a test, a litmus test to whether you could carry the World Championship. And that's what this should be too. It should be a litmus test to whether you should carry the World Championship. We shouldn't have Becky, who is a certified main eventer, holding this belt 3 times. Once is enough. That's great to get the Grand Slam Championship honor under her belt, but 3 times is ridiculous. Give it away. Give it to somebody who's coming up. You tried to do it with Maxine, then the crowd couldn't get behind her. That's fine.
That fell
you
flat.
You could give it to Sol Ruka. You could give it to a Roxanne Perez. Hell, you could give it to Roxanne Perez. You could even give it to Raquel Rodriguez. Give it to somebody else. Build stars. You need to build stars. You have so many people retiring. Putting this belt back on Becky does nothing for your women's mid-card division. Nope. You're going to continuously rely on Becky to build you stars, which is fine, but you can't even have her show up for the Raw after WrestleMania. You still could have had a moment, a spot there with Becky, but instead, no, you waste your spot on Sol Ruka. Great, you're high on Sol Ruka, so am I. You want to push her to the main event picture right off the rip, apparently, but you wouldn't even pull the trigger on that in NXT. So why are you going to try to pull the trigger on that right off the bat in the main roster and have her kind of she looked great in the match, but she kind of got outsmarted by Liv too, when Liv was the wily veteran and rolled out of the ring after the Soul Snatcher.
Yep.
But, at the same time, what are we doing with the mid card here? We got to hot potato these belts. Becky shouldn't have this belt for more than one pay-per-view before she loses it again, and then she should never challenge for it again. She should move on to other things. Go to SmackDown and win the women's United States Championship. I mean, it wouldn't make a difference. It's the same point. Why she doesn't need these mid-card titles, but pass it on. Mm-hmm. Alexa Bliss could benefit from this title right now.
Yep.
Who else? There's so many other main Jordan
Grace. Where's Jordan Grace doing?
Yeah.
Get her in there. We haven't seen her in weeks.
No, she wrestled on Friday night.
All right, Friday night, but they haven't done anything. All right.
She was hurt.
I know.
There's just so many things they could do with these women's mid-card title that putting it back on Becky Lynch wasn't a good call, in my opinion. My self-imposed professional opinion.
Yep. Self-imposed. All right. So then we got the Gunther defeating Rollins with Braun Breaker spearing Rollins to seal the deal for Gunther.
Easily match of the night for night 1, up until Gunther shows up and ruins everything. Gunther, up until Braun Breaker shows up and ruins everything. Not because Braun Breaker did anything wrong, it's just because it was absolutely predictable. And apparently he hurt himself, so now he's injured again.
Who got what?
Apparently Braun Breaker hurt himself, so now he's injured again.
Yeah, I think I heard that. Yes, he
Was it Monday night?
Or no, he took a headshot with a chair on
he had
Raw
a chair
from Seth
busted-
Rollins.
Yeah, Monday night, he got busted open. His head
Yeah,
got
he was
busted open.
bleeding.
The chair bleeding bad. He had a bad bruise.
Yep.
So concussion protocol again.
Yeah,
Can't
this
catch a break.
match was 100% predictable. We knew that
It was 100%
Breakker-
predictable, but you know what? It was a pretty good match.
Yeah, because look at the two guys you got in there. The two guys you got in there are good wrestlers. They're gonna make it look good.
I know, and that's what was good about it. The whole fact is that Braun Breaker didn't get that damn spear from 100 miles away.
Right.
You
So
all
the
of
match
it.
was good, but the setup for the match kind of sucked.
Yeah.
Yes, it did. But you knew these two. You knew it was going to be a banger of a match. It was going to be a good match. Just the finish, it was very predictable, and I feel like the finish is ultimately what hurt the match with Breaker coming out,
I guess.
and then you have Breaker just run down the entire WrestleMania stage just to show that the dude's got wheels.
Yeah. All right. All right. Up next.
I'm the only, me and Eric are the only ones that picked Liv Morgan to win this title, huh?
Yep.
Hot dog.
Yep.
Come on, guys. You can't tell me you really didn't see Liv Morgan winning this belt off Stephanie.
Yeah, but I would have waited. It tells you something.
I love Stephanie, but talk about a paper champion. Talk about a non-fighting champion. She couldn't stay healthy. She really didn't defend this title much. She was just kind of that placeholder for Liv Morgan to come back. Liv Morgan had to relinquish that title in the first place when she got injured. They were going to put it back on her. Liv is their go-to. I knew at the minute Liv won the Royal Rumble, she was winning this title at WrestleMania. And they went as far as giving her a new entrance, a music video. Like they rolled out all the stops for her. The minute that they debuted them entrance video, I was like, all right, she's totally going over at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, they let her like ride that one guy on the stage all over.
Yep.
that
dude was bricked up.
Yep.
Absolutely bricked up. Like Andrade. I made that joke many times, but
yeah. No,
bricked.
I think that's the right joke to make right there. So Liv won the championship once again. I'm not mad about it. So all right, and then we get that Bianca Belair. Cena comes out, announces the attendance, and then Bianca comes out and announces that she's pregnant, which as she's coming out, like we're like, oh, what kind of announcement?
She knew that she didn't have her hair. It was like a short
her hair was gone. Yeah.
I noticed that she didn't have the big ponytail, and we thought maybe she was coming out to announce her retirement. I don't think any of us saw pregnancy coming, but congratulations to her and Montez Ford. Look at Montez Ford going from dad bod to being in amazing shape again, like overnight.
Oh yeah, he came out on Monday.
He was fighting like crazy, that guy.
So congratulations to those two. What do I learn from this? Never partake in a triple threat match at WrestleMania because you're gonna get pregnant, or fatal four way because you're gonna get pregnant. Naomi, Bianca,
Zillifer too just got drafted by the Giants.
Becky,
what?
Zillifer too. Actually, got the New York Giants. Sissy is ready for the. He looks like a Samoan that just went to the Giants. New York Giants.
Oh God,
he looks like Jacob.
Looks like Zillifer too.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Right. And then the final match of the first night, Cody Rhodes retaining over Randy Orton.
And we all took Randy Orton.
Yeah,
because that Randy Orton was the smart play. It was the right call.
It was the right call.
Yeah.
Actually, the original play was Randy Orton win the belt.
Yeah, I think Pat McAfee and Jelly Roll bailing on this storyline and not wanting to do the backlash match is what made it. I think we saw it change in real time. Like they had no planned finish for that after it happened. So I really think the ref they got call from Gorilla and Hunter told Randy to RKO Pat.
Begs the question. Cody Rhodes made the challenge to CM Punk whenever you're ready. So does Cody Rhodes fight CM Punk very soon? Or is he going to keep the belt for another friggin' year now that Randy Orton ain't going to win the belt?
Or is Cody Rhodes going to come out tomorrow night on SmackDown and say, hey, I need to go have orbital bone surgery. I'm going to be out for an extended period of time. I need to vacate this championship. And all of a sudden, CM Punk becomes the number one contender. And at Backlash, we see him win the WWE championship. Like,
That's
all we did was swap championships for CM Punk by the
exactly.
end
That's
of the
all, and that's what we got to see. But it's going to be kind of a weird. If that's the case, CM Punk versus Randy Orton, that's a good match.
Yeah.
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 I think we're gonna see CM Punk Cody Rhodes, which I think is what WWE originally wanted for WrestleMania.
Yep.
Because it was originally supposed to be Seth versus Roman and Punk versus Cody. So I think ultimately we're gonna get WWE giving us what they originally wanted. But the question is, are they gonna pull the trigger at that at Backlash, or are they gonna pull the trigger on that at SummerSlam?
Right.
Or I'll wait all the way till Saudi next year. But
Well, listen, no, I actually think they should do it very soon instead of waiting, because then you know that they're going to be holding the belt for a long time, and that means Cody's going to win the belt down the road again if he has to give the belt up to get the surgery, or he's going to hold hostage to the belt until he comes back. And that's why the brand split is going to be no longer. So you could have somebody challenge, go to Raw and get that championship belt, which makes sense. You know, it makes sense. You could take that championship to SmackDown, and there's more players for the championship, which that's pretty cool. Because back in the day, there was only one championship.
hot potato those belts, baby.
And everybody would go for that one championship. So that being said, if he's going to be out for 6 months, he's going to be out for like 3 to 6 months. So they should put the belt on the shelf for the time being. You have everybody go after Roman, and you have challenges for that championship belt. Then you also have the Intercontinental Championship, U.S. Championship. So there's other champions that go back and forth. So it might work for the time being, but we'll see.
Yep.
That being said, we'll see.
Yeah.
Hey, you never know when a championship opportunity is just going to fall from the sky.
Exactly.
I felt like that promo either was a hint that Punk is going to win Money in the Bank, or that Cody is going to drop the title on Friday and Punk is going to become the number one contender for it. And then when Cody comes back, they'll do Punk versus Cody for that belt.
And it could be Cody versus Punk, which Punk would be the champion.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's get into night 2. And your ESPN spot of the night. And I think I got this backwards, but
Freaking Matt always has to have the winning play, man. Jesus.
Dude, sorry I pay attention.
No, I pay attention too, but I thought they would put it on Javon Evans. And Javon Evans is electrifying.
He is electrifying, but he's not going to win he's not going to win the IC title after they had Penta go through a year
now you see that
chasing the IC title.
Now you see Ethan Page is going to be part of that IC title friggin' go to now.
Which he should be, 100%.
He should be. And I got a feeling he's going to win the belt before Javon Evans does, which I'm okay with. Give it to Ethan Page. He was the greatest.
I'm not okay with that. I want Javon to take it.
Champion. So Javon, you know what? Sorry. I think Javon is going to become a tag team championship when Slater comes in, or Kofi Kingston.
If Slater comes in, it's probably
can be with New Day. I got a feeling that he's going to wind up performing alliance with the.
Well, you made that comment during the stream because of his outfit, and it did kind of fit the New Day, because the old New Day, really, the old New Day.
Yeah. And
shout out to Kofi with the tweet of the weekend too, by saying that he's been vindicated after Obafemi squashed Brock Lesnar.
And
But
they just had a New Day segment. Oh, and New Day was talking trash to Randy Orton and Dean Ambrose when Dean Ambrose was here. Talking about
oh
Randy.
boy, and didn't I call a potential hanging from the belt spot for Javon Evans?
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Of course. I knew that was going to happen too.
Yeah.
You all knew that. But you called it. Definitely called it.
Good match, though. Good.
Yes, it was.
It was a very good match. Very
Yes, it
good
was.
match.
And it lasted as long as it should have been. That's perfect. Everybody got their play.
10 minutes. 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
10 minutes. Perfect. And then the other match over on ESPN, Obafemi defeating Lesnar, where we got Brock possibly retiring, leaving his gloves and his boots in the ring, putting up that X saying, "I'm done." So We kind of called that the way we called it, Matt and Dan, probably would have prolonged it into Backlash.
Well, apparently it was supposed to be
having the double.
This was supposed to be a trilogy. They were going to have a lot of story on this. It was going to be a trilogy, and you were going to get the final thing probably at SummerSlam. Because they were going to put it before Gunther. I actually think Gunther was going to retire Brock Lesnar in WrestleMania 43. In Saudi Arabia, because you need the big match, because they're going to get all the big people come to that weekend.
That's a long way.
So it is a long way, but you would have it later on because Brock is off TV a lot anyway. So you would have the trilogy with Obafemi, and then he'll be off a little bit, and then you bring Brock later on, and that's when you start your little thing with Gunther. But him retiring now, which, like I said, there still could be a work. There still could be a play for this, where Gunther does go and harasses Heyman over and over again, and finally Heyman does get Gunther, does get the Brock to fight Gunther, and you can still potentially have that match. We're not going to know until whatever. Like I said, it could be like I said before, his contract could be over.
Yeah, you said his contract.
Waiting for a payday, and that's why he did that. But like I said, there's a lot of mixed things going on, and on the reports is saying that potentially he can come back. He's not coming back. Everybody's stumped. All these things. So we'll see. But this was a good match, and kudos to Brock for doing that for Obafemi. It makes Obafemi's character even more insane. And
but do you think it's too much? And I'm probably gonna get shit for saying this, but I think I've heard a lot of people saying, well, if you think that Brock kicking out of the Fall from Grace was a good idea, you're fucking crazy. Well, then I guess I'm fucking crazy, because I think you're doing too much to build these guys up. Look what you've got yourself in with Gunther, the career killer. You backed yourself into a corner. Now you have to pivot. You essentially backed yourself into a corner with Obafemi, making him look so strong that you can't even have creative for him moving forward that are going to suffice to what he just did. If you double DQ'd them, you still save that mystique, but you give him something to fight for.
Yep.
Having him having him basically tank an F5 and have him no sell it, and then you have Brock sell a Fall from Grace, which is essentially just a sit down power bomb, and not kick out of a single Fall from Grace after really no offense from Obafemi, after Obafemi just ate a bunch of suplexes and an F5. It makes him look too strong. I feel like personally, this is our platform and I'm going to use it. I personally think that you're building Obafemi up to be too much of a monster. Like, you're backing yourself into a corner with him with this.
I know, but also at the same time, you're building him up to take down Gunther. That's the whole.
But why? The career killer's done. There's no heat on Gunther. Obafemi gets nothing from beating Gunther now.
There's reports. There's reports that he retired from WrestleMania. This is his last WrestleMania. That's why he did it too.
If they do it, that's great. But right now, as we sit here, but that's future tense. You can't live in the past. You can't live in the future. You got to live in the now. And right now, the way it looks,
he's done. Yeah.
He's done. And you essentially backed yourself into a corner with Obafemi, because with nobody left to retire and nobody wanting Gunther to retire them,
all right, look.
You backed Gunther in a corner. He's got essentially no heat on him. You wasted the heat. He had nuclear heat coming off the retirement of John Cena. Yep, he had nuclear heat coming off the retirement of AJ Styles, but you wasted that both times. And now Obafemi beating Gunther means shithole. If you want to be honest, Obafemi beating Gunther means dog shit now.
What you need is Gunther and Obafemi just to keep winning matches. Have them keep winning matches until their worlds collide. And that's where you'll get the best of the best. Yeah, that's the only thing. Because if the career killer is over with now with Gunther's gimmick, you got to have him go out and just banger after banger after banger after banger. Just take out a slew of wrestlers heading into heading to SummerSlam or heading into next year, Survivor Series.
I mean, that's the only way you could do is if he has some sort of goes on some generational win run like that you haven't seen since the likes of fucking Goldberg.
Exactly.
And then
but you also have Obafemi do the same thing. You have them both do it to their worlds cross. So now that you're not doing the brand split anymore, you have more opportunities. Gunther can show up on SmackDown and take out somebody in SmackDown over Femi, and so you could have this crossover until maybe summer, until freaking Survivor Series. You could have a potential big card, Obafemi versus Gunther at the freaking Survivor Series.
Well, I mean, why wouldn't you do it at WrestleMania? Obafemi versus Gunther, streak versus streak.
Yeah, you know what? That could work, but I think there's so much going on with the that WrestleMania. You're gonna get The Rock. The Rock is gonna freaking battle freaking Roman Reigns.
I don't think The Rock's coming back. No amount of money is gonna get The Rock back as long as Triple H is in charge. If TKO hasn't outed Triple H by WrestleMania next year, The Rock ain't going to be there. Yeah. I'm here to tell you, because he has not talked about wrestling. He has not mentioned WWE. He's not promoted WWE. He did not. He was in Vegas, turned around, and left.
And he hasn't done even videos. Like usually he does videos on Instagram. Nothing.
Zero mention of anything WWE related. And their earnings just came out, and they paid him like $9 million or $90 million, some shit like that, just for using his trademark, The Rock.
Yeah.
So I'm not counting on The Rock and Obafemi or The Rock doing jack all as long as Triple H is there.
But you're right. If this lasts, you have them, the worlds collide until they meet up in WrestleMania season next year. It's going to be a while, but you have them going on generational runs, both of them, until they meet. And then you can also have a storyline going. You got a Sticks. You're muted. You're still muted.
It'll come back.
Yeah, now you can
finish up.
You can have that, and then you can have wrestlers going, "Nah, I don't want to fight Gunther. I don't want to fight Obafemi because they're winning." And you could have like the wrestlers go, "Nah, I'm not fighting him. You fight him. No," and have some funny story until their worlds collide, and then streak versus streak.
Yeah, I got one quick question on this match. Assuming WWE TKO didn't know Brock was going to retire or seemingly retire in this match, do you think Oba knew what was happening in that match? Or he might have had an idea what was going to happen, but maybe on the fly Brock said, "Hey, you're going to do this. I'm not getting up."
I think the retirement was kept secret. It was kept, only Brock knew, because the way Paul Heyman reacted, he didn't know. The way Oba reacted, he didn't know. I think it was, I literally think the reports of Brock doing it as a fuck you to management was 100% correct.
Yep. Okay, good. All right, up next is let's see if we're here. All right, here we go. We got a new champ. Trick Williams defeats Sami Zayn to become the U.S. champion, United States champion.
Look, I'm telling you,
we all took Trick.
There's a couple of things.
We all took Trick.
You know, he won the belt. All right, fine. Now does WWE water this guy down now? And he's not going to be the menacing dude that he was when he was NXT. You know, where like his ceiling now is he could be a megastar. But now, if you think about it, he won the championship. When you win a championship, you become stale. You're not going to be on TV. Like, he didn't need Little Yachty to be with him. I don't understand why they threw him in there. Another celebrity throwing it in this and that. They didn't need to put him
Small Yachty?
Yeah, Little Yachty, Young Yachty, whatever, freaking Yachty. Why was he wearing that coat that looked like toilet paper strapped to his ass when he was walking down the freaking
yada.
Yeah, yada. You know,
okay.
I just hope, you know, and it was somebody was saying before, they don't want him to become a one-trick pony because the way he is, because he does mention lemon pepper pepper so many damn times, and you know, you gotta change your like you do promos. You need to get some good somebody either write your promos or you run them yourself.
You rocket him right into a feud with him, Carmelo Hayes.
Yep. I think, and as for Sammy, you know, bring his own personality back when he was
Crash Out Sammy needs to come back. Yep.
Yep.
Sami Zayn versus the water bottle at Backlash.
When he was in Lucha Underground, man, have him come back.
And El Generico.
El Generico. He'd come back in El Generico and freaking go and be in AAA. You know, you just like these guys did. You know, freaking Chad Gable and freaking Kaiser. They're freaking goddamn. They loved him over there. Have him come back as El Generico and do that. And I guarantee the fans will freaking love that. And you have that persona with him because you can have a heel Sammy, and it'll be like that freaking when he was the heel Sammy when he was freaking like the coming out talking all the freaking.
Sadly, I think you're on the road of Crash Out Sammy, and you're starting to see the waves into Redemption Sammy, as you're gonna he's gonna be Crash Out Sammy probably until WrestleMania or until Royal Rumble when he wins the Royal Rumble, and then we're gonna start seeing Redemption Sammy all the way to Saudi Arabia when he wins the championship next year in Saudi Arabia. And they'll probably call back to the Seth Rollins feud, and it'll probably be Seth Rollins. He takes the belt off of at WrestleMania next year, or Punk, either one.
Yep.
This kind of brings back the question of whether or not we needed Sammy in this match, or could it have still been Carmelo Hayes instead of having him take the belt from him?
It would have been great.
You think it mattered?
I think they see more. The more I see of it, the reason I think they took the belt off Carmelo Hayes is because they see more potential in a Carmelo Hayes Trick Williams feud, and they want to have the championship involved. They want to put that belt on Trick and have Trick and Carmelo. They're kind of flipping the roles of NXT where Carmelo was the champion and Trick was chasing him. They're trying to flip that now where Trick is the champion because he's their shiny new toy and they have Carmelo chasing it. So there's a lot more money and play in Trick versus Carmelo versus Trick versus Sammy or Carmelo and Sammy. So you have, Carmelo kind of redemption to come back and beat Trick Williams and have them feud instead of having Trick beat Carmelo at WrestleMania.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I go with it. All right. Up next.
What a fucking waste this was.
The Demon Finn Balor defeats Dominic Mysterio.
It should have been a surprise.
In a last-minute street fight.
Yeah, that street fight was only announced at the beginning of WrestleMania night.
There was
by the way, it's going to be a street fight.
Too much like venomization in this shit for me. But it did what it was supposed to do. I just wish it was cool seeing Demon Finn Balor back. I just wish that it would have been a surprise, like Dom said, and not ruined a week before, 2 weeks before Mania.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We all had Balor on this one. It was kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, the minute they said the Demon, it was like, all right, well, this is a throwaway match.
Yeah. The filler. It's a filler match.
This is your go stand in line for your subpar half-assed Reuben sandwich or your tomahawk, nachos or whatever the fuck there was there.
Right. Okay. Rhea Ripley defeated Jade Cargill, becoming the new women's champion.
This was a tough one because we all picked Jade clearly, and I think Jade was the right call, but I think putting on the belt on Rhea frees up some people that I wonder if maybe there's speculation back there that they don't want to work with Jade. And by all intents and purposes, Jade put on her best match.
Yeah, she did.
Her best match in WWE.
Yes,
Watching her hit a one-wing angel was ridiculous. Like she put on a great match against Rhea Ripley. But here now you free up Io Sky to go feud with Asuka. You feed a lot of things up. You put Rhea, the championship back on Rhea, and it's not stale because now you're feeding her a fresh run of competition over there. You can have Rhea versus Charlotte finally. You can have Rhea versus Alexa Bliss, Rhea versus Chelsea Green, Rhea versus pretty much Jordan Grace, a whole new crop of people, which it makes sense. But I still think that potentially keeping the belt on. And I really wonder if this was made, if this call was changed last minute, if originally Jade was supposed to go over, but when they found out that Bianca was pregnant, they called the audible and decided to put the belt on Rhea Ripley because it offers new things.
Do you think Jay and Meechin and B-Fab come to Raw now?
No, because I think Jade stays on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
That was my whole thing too. Is I remember I said, why would you take the belt off her when you just gave her a faction? And that faction played a part, but
a faction, so you can have the faction. I know there's going to be a rematch down the road.
Yeah,
the faction.
You're probably going to get Jade versus Rhea at Backlash.
Do you think that friggin' EO is going to wind up going to Raw? SmackDown?
No, I think she stays on Raw.
Okay. So I guess the turning heel thing kind of went out the window.
Yep.
For the time being.
Yeah.
Nah, but I do have to applaud, Jay Cargill for an outstanding match. He did a great job.
Yeah, he did do a great match.
Fucking most over man in the business on gimmick alone.
Oh my God.
Yes.
This was one of the best parts of freaking WrestleMania.
He was the highest merchandise seller at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
And I like he's going back and forth to both shows. He's doing his thing. Hey, listen, like I said, the gimmick, hey, I could actually say that from when it started to what the WWE got him doing now, it's perfect. Perfect. He has a match here and there. He fits perfectly with The Miz and freaking Kit Wilson. So I like that whole chemistry. It's good. He grew on me now. I know he was great in AEW and stuff like that, but kind of like the box thing was more of the pain in the ass. We waited all those weeks just to find out.
I think that's what it was. The WWE Universe or IWC spent so much time building that box up that when it wasn't what their expectations were that they set and their expectations weren't met, they were all pissed off and mad. And I'm glad to see that WWE didn't pull the plug on Danhausen. They didn't bail on Danhausen. They let Danhausen cook, do his thing.
Yep.
And they're not interfering in his gimmick. They're just kind of letting him do it. And he's making it work, man. He's selling merch.
He's funny. You ever see the interviews?
He's funny.
All the interviews that he's doing.
Yeah.
It's funny, man. I'm like, it's great. It's good because I like how they brought back midgets. And you're not supposed to say that. He's like midgets.
That's what they told us to call them.
That's what they told them to be called. Yeah.
I know. That's funny.
Why'd you call us midgets?
What's up,
Dubba? How are you,
What's
man?
up, buddy? It is the best thing in wrestling right now. It's funny.
Yeah, he's definitely the hottest thing as far as merch sales.
So let me ask you a question. So he cursed I Show Speed. Did I Show Speed break the curse now? Because he wound up on the winning end, helping.
No, he's technically still lost.
So okay.
But
he did. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So there's your Danhausen moment there. Good stuff.
This by far.
This saved WrestleMania. This was a great match.
It
was
did.
Great storytelling in this match.
It really was.
I've still like the whole thing when he hit him with the stair. I'm like, easy GQ.
Yeah, that was odd.
That was odd.
And what did you say the ref said? The ref said what?
The ref said that he wasn't sure if he pull the plug on it. Me personally, I think that this match wound up getting another disqualification match. It had to be because it didn't make any sense.
Right.
You're doing something like that. That's order. If that's the case, you might as well do that in other wrestling matches.
It's a big fight feel. It's a big fight. You're going to just let him go. You're going to let him get away with things that normally they wouldn't. Mm-hmm. If both people are doing it, you let them play on.
I actually think because of the Cody and Randy Orton match, they had to by far make this the best thing they could
agree.
possibly.
100%.
Yeah, because it would have cut it so short if they'd have done the disqualification.
I have to admit, and you know what? I'm gonna give you a little piece of a history of a CM Punk and Randy Orton. Never won a WrestleMania match in all the WrestleManias they've been in. They're the two that when the biggest thing counts, they never win. So that's a wrestling moment right there, history. That that they both
I'm our residential wrestle historian over here.
Yep.
I mean, like I said before, it was the right play. As much as I didn't want to see Roman be a part-timer with the championship, it sounds like he's going to be there every week, so that's great.
Hey, listen, you don't have to wrestle every week. If he shows up and just his presence alone, that's what we need.
It offers fresh, as we see on Monday night. It offers fresh matchups. We're already getting a fresh matchup without Punk being on the title, and we're getting fresh challengers for Punk. So it's a win-win for both of them.
I'm surprised they didn't have a rematch. Like a rematch, because usually they get the rematch, and now he's gonna switch brands 1, 2, 3, and go for the other. You know what I'm saying? Because usually they have the rematch, they'll have like another match, and it'll be total chaos, and he's not gonna win. But the whole fact is that they're just ending the feud for the time being to have him go over.
You can't top. They're not topping that.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right. So, but like I said, if someone got the bloodline back up into a certain point, we'll see. Like
and I hate that. I really do.
Hey, you told me no. I brought that up, but you know what? It's going to be short-lived because there will be a huge.
I told you no because I don't want them to regurgitate bullshit that we just spent 3 years doing.
I know, but now I think they're gonna do it the right way, slowly but surely build it up. And like Roman even said, I'm not asking.
He did it the right way before. They just ended it wrong.
I know. I told you they ended it abruptly without even like ending it the way it should have ended it because Roman went on his way and all that stuff like that. But I like what Roman said. I want you to do it bloodline and family, and you're not demanding them that you have to do this.
But let me tell you how stupid that is, Dom. And I'm not saying you're stupid, but I want to tell you how stupid that is.
I'll be honest with you. I am stupid sometimes.
No, you're not. You've got a good mind for this, but let me tell you how stupid this is. What was the one key thing that Punk just spent the last, I don't know, 3 months harping on?
Part-timer.
Nah, and what else? What did Punk say in his promo?
And he can't do anything alone.
Exactly. Yep. So Punk just spent 3 months harping on that Roman Reigns can't do this alone. Roman Reigns needs his cousins. He can't do anything alone. So what does Roman Reigns do his first night as champion?
Takes his cousins.
Proves CM Punk right. That he can't do anything on his own. He needs his cousins. I miss this. I want you guys next to me.
Yeah. You see, you're right.
It's shitty story. It's shitty writing. It's shitty.
I know it is. But
direction. It's shitty everything.
You know it is, but I'm going to tell you this. Before the storylines went shit, the bloodline storyline was actually the best thing in wrestling. They tried to freaking catch a flame.
You can't catch lightning in a bottle twice.
They're trying to. They
already tried. They tried to with Solo's bloodline, and it didn't work.
No, but see, but Solo's that was different. What they should have did was, that MFT shit. That's all. What they should do was like now that they have the crossover, you could actually see Roman's bloodline getting bigger. He might have a problem with Solo.
Whoa, now I don't need to see Roman's bloodline getting any bigger than it already is.
It could probably go between 9 and 10 of people in this.
Oh God! Oh God! That's too much. That poor woman.
I know, right? No, I'm just saying because now you can open the door for other things now. Like I wanted Zilla Fatu to show up.
I think he will. I think he's going to.
He still will. Like NXT. NXT is going to build up again. They're going to get these independent stars, and I'm still holding hope. I'm still holding hope for Killer Cross to make his debut, his return. And
Jacob ain't going to be a one and done, and he's not beating Roman at Backlash.
No, he's not.
But he's not going to be a one and done, and you're going to open the door for more Samoans, and I think you open the door for Zilla Fatu to be a part of this by the time this all comes to an end. Because I think you're going to. I hate to say it. I hate to say it, but I think next week or the week after, you're going to start seeing future endeavors. You're going to start seeing a lot of NXT people being released. You're going to see a lot of LFG people being released. You're going to see a lot of main roster talent being released.
Yeah.
And they're going to start making room for signing new crops, the guys whose contracts are coming up. Leon Slater, Zilla Fatu. So, I mean, that's just the way what I see. I mean, I don't want to see anybody lose their jobs, but that's just the nature of this beast, and it's usually what happens after WrestleMania season is we see future endeavors happen.
Yep, no, you're right.
So
you're definitely not wrong about that, but there's a lot of definitely a lot of possibilities for strong stories now. with the fresh people coming in, changing brands and coming in and making these stories a little crazier. Like, come on, Jacob Fatu, since he came in, he didn't face Roman. He hasn't faced Roman. This is a brand new, and my thing is that I think there's going to be betrayal. I still think that Jay is going to friggin' wind up betraying, Roman. And you're going to have that the Samoan Civil War like they had before, and it's going to be different. It's definitely going to be a different thing. Well, let's just see where it goes.
I mean, I'm all down to see where it goes. It sounds like a snooze fest to me, unless they're gonna pull the trigger on the transition of Jey Uso becoming the new tribal chief. I don't even really want that. But we'll see what happens. I guess I don't know. I just think, to me, going right back to the bloodline is lazy, sloppy writing.
But that's what wrestling is all about, man. Lazy, sloppy writing a lot of times, but you take a chance. You see what happens. You try to build on a momentum that you had a few years back and see where that goes. If it doesn't work out, you just pivot. They always pivot anyway, so
they can always pivot. That is correct.
Yep.
Speaking of seeing where things go, let's see how we ended up at the end.
I am destroyed. I did not like 2 matches.
Whoa. Look at Eric coming out on top.
I know. Wait a minute. How did you have 90 and I had 100?
You called the Roman Reigns CM Punk match correct. You
I
called
know.
a couple matches correct.
You won all the matches in game day night. They won.
No, I didn't. I lost the AJ Lee. Yeah, I didn't call the AJ Lee Becky Lynch.
Damn.
So the out of a possible 110, because there was 1,400. Out of a possible 140, there's a possible 130 points that you could get, because there was 7 matches and 6 matches.
Yeah.
So 140 would have been the top if you got them all right. So
Eric became the big winner this week.
So
our first-time champion.
Yeah, our first go around, and Eric comes out on top.
Look at that, old Eric. Right. Good, congratulations, Eric.
Congratulations, there.
Way to go, winning your first ever IWC Off the Mat Internet Championship at WrestleMania, nonetheless.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Eric.
Hot out of the gate.
Yep.
Good job, man. He called it right. So you only had a couple of things.
First things first. I'd like to thank you guys for having such a great, great streaming for the 2 days. And kudos to Matt. Kudos to Matt. Surgery and being on the show to for his 4 hours. 4 hours of a nonstop, just about 4 hours. Think about it, 2 nights, 8 hours, if you really think about it, put together like almost 8 hours of streaming time, live
definitely 8 hours.
Streaming. But
I have to give all the glory to oxycodone. And pain meds. They're a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Help you when you're in tremendous pain.
Not even Vicodin, huh? It's stronger than Vicodin.
No, oxycodone.
Nice.
Allow me to sit there after double hernia surgery. So, yeah.
There you go, man. Take 2 and call me in the morning.
That's right. 100%.
No, but
or don't and just let them sleep.
Mm-hmm. Just a thumbs up for the shows this week. I mean, this week, that week, I was exhausted from doing so many different streams. I was so freaking tired the whole week.
Yeah,
because it was a long week, but it was fun. It was fun. I kind of
yeah. No, we had right even from the pick night, Eric came on and he eventually did win the weekend. I do thank Kyle Starks for coming on and helping us with the pick night as well.
Shout out.
Great guy. He knows his stuff. So does Eric. So do you. So does Dom.
So do
I know
some. We all know our stuff.
I know enough to get by, probably.
You
but-
just get talked over because your internet is so bad that you're behind, and everyone's
I am
talking when you start to
Yeah.
talk. But
Now,
I know
you
the answer
okay,
before.
so, look, everybody's got their guys and their shows that look, we all one way or another are knowledgeable in aspects of wrestling. We know,
100%.
we see it, we watch it, and we enjoy it. We get mad, because we love it. We love what it brings to the table. And at the end of the day, no matter how bad or how great it is, we're always going to have reactions to the outcome. And like I said,
Mhm.
I love it. Look, I love the show. I watch it, and yes, at times it could be a horror show but there's always a silver lining in everything when it comes to the shows. There's always something. And I'm looking forward to this new this new push now, this different feel after the Mania, and maybe, just maybe, the wrestling gods over there in TKO hear us slightly and change their tune on some things, and maybe after WrestleMania 43, 44 comes back to the States, and people could actually go and enjoy it. And a little bit less of the entertainment in pro wrestling, but you could still have it. Not to say that you wipe it out together, but a little less interaction with the wrestlers in a storyline that should be for the wrestlers, and moving it forward, and not tainting the storyline because you want to have a celebrity in there to try to get more fans and more people of that. Okay, aside, you want to be honest with you?
Please do.
The people that the demographic they were trying to get wasn't as big as they were expecting.
They're not creating those new fans. Like we said, the average wrestling fan today is in their 40s and 50s. They're not creating that younger wrestling fan.
Even the young kids, the parents, their tolerance of sitting there watching wrestling, they can't take it. It's not really. It's like the Star Wars fans. They're not getting new fans in because they're trying. They're trying to get different things, but it's not working. You cater to the people that actually are the ones that generate the buzz, the ones that generate the excitement. They're not doing that. And I understand the world is changing and we're getting phased out as individuals, but
that's
still around.
The entertainment way is still the same. If you make your story and people will come to watch your story, you're gonna have fans come to your story.
No, but you know what it is? Look, you have you see, it's good. Okay, you have Javon Evans, young kid.
Holy shit, Stixie said his name right.
You have him, a young kid that can bring in the younger generation, because he's likable, he's a good dude, he's athletic as all hell, freaking doing impossible jumps, and people and the young crowd loves that. He's amazing. He's gonna, and down the road, if he stays healthy, hopefully all those big jumps and leaps don't take part of his career away because the injuries. But if he continues doing it, he's going to be up. He's going to be a big time star, and he's going to be making a big name for himself. So they're in the right direction. Doing things, getting the young stars up. And hopefully, at the end of the day, a lot of these young stars can generate a new buzz, and that's all you ask for. And hopefully, like I said, hopefully by WrestleMania 43, a lot of these guys would be solidified as stars to a point where you want to pay to see them.
Speaking of generating new buzz, listen, have you noticed we've got a facelift over here at Off the Mat? We've got new graphics. We've got a new logo. And of course, we've got new socials and sites to go to. If you want to continue to enjoy all your Off the Mat goodness, you can do so whether you're watching it on Styx's channel or you're watching it on my channel, An Absolute Geek. But if you're only here for the professional wrestling, you're not into the Doctor Who nonsense or the comic book stuff, you can find us with just the Professional Wrestling at the brand new Off the Mat YouTube channel. Link in the comment section right now. So head on over there, subscribe up, and we're going to start streaming all of our Off the Mat episodes right there, so you can catch them where you currently watch them on Absolute Geek. As much as I love having you here, or Styx's channel, much as he loves having you there. But if you just want to come for professional wrestling goodness, go subscribe up to the Off the Mat podcast channel. There you can find us also on Instagram. That just kicked off too. Subscribe to us on Instagram, or follow, I guess, on Instagram at Off the Mat Cast is our Instagram handle. We're going to work on getting a Twitter and all that, or X and all that going up, TikTok, because we want to start producing more content, producing more shorts. I want to have it all go to a specific place. So that's why we're starting that Off the Mat channel, so that you can go there for your one-stop shop for just professional wrestling goodness there, if you're not into the other stuff that we talk about and roll through on top of that.
I don't think we'll be launching an OnlyFans. So
I'm talking to Dom about that. Dom in the pickle suit on OnlyFans might. We're working on it.
Yeah, listen. My move is the pickle grip.
Pickle.
I'm not above trying to get Dom in a tuxedo G-string dressed as a pickle on OnlyFans. We're in the process.
Just a bow tie, Dom.
If we could get
like Patrick Swayze.
If we can get 1,000 subs on the new YouTube channel, and like by Monday next week, maybe we can talk Dom into doing it.
You might be able to do that.
So
hey, listen,
there you go.
I'm going to make a plug real quick. We had a
drain or butt.
No, we had a guest here. Before we had James Murray. He was on the show. He talked about his upcoming stuff. He talked about his novel that was coming up. I just wanted to promote his novel. The Chase, a wrestling story. I got it. He sent it to me. Amazon Books. Go on Amazon, and where all books are sold, and it's pretty good. Hopefully, I got a chance to read it in the next week or so. But give you a little hint on this. It's New York City, 1947. The war is over, but Patrick and Betty Ramshaw, the real fight is just beginning. Patrick has a technique of to be a pro wrestling star, but he's missing the persona that puts the bodies in seats. When the opportunity knocks, Betty sees Patrick cannot. A path to the top begins with a cross-country gamble. Trading stability of the Big Apple for unpredictability of the open road. The couple steer their way through the landscape of rogue ringside schemes and a trek fueled of grease, grit, and search for the perfect gimmick. Patrick and Betty aren't just looking to win. They're looking for an identity. In the golden age of the mat, Patrick has to decide, is he a hero to the fans? Is he a hero to the fans need it, or a villain they'll pay to see? Which, it sounds like an interesting book. And if you're into wrestling, pick this book up.
There you
go. It's definitely going to be a good read.
What's the name of the book again, Dom?
It's called the Chase Wrestling Story. Thanks.
I'll draft it for you.
Thanks, James. Definitely.
Did he sign it for you?
Yes, he did. He signed it for me. It says, to Dominic, thanks for your support. Because it's a slobber knocker. James Murray.
Nice.
Awesome.
Good job.
Good.
I'll have to get James back on to talk about the book at some point.
Yep.
On that. What else that you guys want to talk about? Do the 3 count here for Raw After Mania. Hit that 3 count. Styx, give me your best moment, worst moment, and what were they thinking from the Raw After WrestleMania this week?
I guess the best moment is the God. I always hate these because I always freeze them when I want to say. The best moment was the ending. I really think the direction for Roman Reigns is going to be the thing to watch. So I'm going to call that my best moment because it's kind of a catapult to what we're going to have down the road. Worst moment for me is going to be the setup. We've talked about it already a couple of times. Paige should have been coming on to Raw. That should have been where Paige debuted again. I didn't hate her in WrestleMania, but I think it would have been a little better coming into Raw. I just think that's kind of I won't call it a fumble, but it wasn't the best scenario, in my opinion. And that'll be it's really what were they thinking? The whole impromptu Liv and Sol Ruka. I didn't really like that. I didn't think her coming up and getting into there right off the bat for a championship match right off. I would have had her in a match, but it wouldn't have been a championship match with Liv. I wouldn't have had the belt on the line.
Yeah, the belt wasn't the belt wasn't on the line. It wasn't a championship match. It was just a straight up match.
You sure?
Yeah,
I thought it was.
It was not a championship.
I thought it was. So maybe not, but I thought it was. I'm still sticking to that.
Yeah, I agree. My sentiment's the same. Best moment of the night was Roman Reigns, Jacob Fatu, the appearance of Jacob Fatu on Raw, the new direction there. The worst moment was what were they thinking? Kind of the same. No call-ups. Where are the call-ups? No surprises. There was no surprises here. Nothing. You don't even have Becky Lynch, who just won the Intercontinental Championship for the third time on Raw. She doesn't show up. You don't have Joe Hendry show up. You have no debuts. You have no returns. I mean, yeah, okay, you had the Street Profits, but like you have no like monumental returns. So for me, the Raw after WrestleMania was okay compared to previous Raws, but it wasn't like the spectacle that we're used to seeing. So that's kind of what were they thinking is they have to return the Raw after Mania to the spectacle it was of yesteryear.
Yep.
Dom, what say you, my friend?
All right, the best moment. My boy Ethan Page finally made it to the main roster. Now the best moment was the the NXT call-ups. The NXT call-ups, the new blood Paul put it. See, I know you guys said your thing, but I think the best moment was coming up. So you had, we finally got Sol Ruka, as you've been talking about, Ethan Page, Joe Hendry, that having that new blood come into the fold, best moment. The worst moment was not having Becky Lynch, who became the new Intercontinental Championship. She won the championship for the third time. She should have been on the show, and there should have been a surprise entry to fight her that comes out. And it wasn't. And it's kind of a tragedy that you don't have the Intercontinental Championship showing up on a Raw after WrestleMania, which kind of sucks. Believe it or not, you may not like the fact that she is Intercontinental Championship, but she is a worthy person to have it for now until the next person comes along to take it from her. And what were they thinking? The surprises, man. Backstage handshakes, backstage this and that. I want to see surprises. I want to see what people come in and you're like, oh my God, this guy's here. Why is he? Oh my God, is he on Raw now? I want that type of excitement where it's not predictable. Where you sit in the backstage, you shake hands. Oh, you want a match tonight? You got your first match. I want to see a surprise. Who's coming out? Who's going to fight this person? And all of a sudden, that person makes their debut. I want to see that. Mm-hmm. But also in the best moments, not only were the call-ups great, the ending, Jacob Fatu face-to-face with Roman Reigns, that was a good moment. Fresh blood. I like it. I want to see the momentum pick up on that more and more. Even though it might be a one and done with Jacob Fatu and Roman, but I want to see that continue to snowball into bigger things. And we'll see what happens. That was my take.
NXT on Tuesday night.
I have not seen NXT.
I haven't watched NXT yet either. All I've watched was the Sol Ruka Zarya match.
Yep.
And that was my what were they thinking is how are you going to have Sol Ruka take that table spot after you just debuted her on the main roster? And she's
kind of crazy.
All but intents and purposes made a massive splash on Raw and then you're gonna have her take that table spot and bust her head open. And like I said, I'll repeat it: go from the main event to concussion protocol, or well, go from your Raw debut to concussion protocol in 24 hours.
So you finished that was everything you seen?
That's it. That's all. That's it.
So the best moment was what were they thinking? I'm with you with the Soberka thing. What were they thinking with that? I know it was a mishap, the way she fell over and missed the other table.
Why should they?
Things do happen, but you're right. You don't have a call up to the main roster and then go back down to NXT and have a match to get hurt. That was a no-no. The worst moment, Joe Hendry getting destroyed by Carver. Joe Hendry got destroyed, and now he's coming to Raw. Why even have him show up back on the NXT roster, and you're gonna friggin' Jabba slob his ass and make him get destroyed? Yes, Carver's a big boy, but the whole fact is that still. Now, I have a thing about Joe Hendry. Is he a one-trick pony when it comes to say his name? So he comes out every time you say his name. Now, that's getting old quick. It was great.
There he is.
Now, when he comes to the main roster now, he's going to have to change the gimmick up a little bit and have a little something more. But that here said what happens. And like I said, the best moment was
Jey Uso's made a career on Yeet. Why can't Joe Hendry just continue his career on?
Well, we'll see. We'll see with that.
His song and dance.
But the best moment definitely was, like I said, they really can't think of the best moment, because I might have missed the best moment on there. But I know Jada Parker freaking won. I could tell you that she won.
Well, for me, my best moment would probably be, now that I think about it, would probably be, I did really like the casket match between Tatum Paxley and Blake Monroe.
Yes.
I thought the casket was a little ridiculous looking.
But that was good. That was good. You're right.
They should have went with the classic casket versus the Halloween decoration casket. Yeah. But it's like they just look like they just reused a set piece from Halloween Havoc.
Probably did.
Hey, we got this in storage.
Yeah, we got this in the WWE vault.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Nobody's using it. Yeah.
No.
All right. And AEW. Anybody watch AEW last night?
Negative.
I haven't recorded. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
I did catch one thing. Dean Ambrose with the Riders. What's the other name of it?
Riders.
Yeah, they came out. One of the matches. I just seen that like a quick thing. I didn't get a chance to watch to watch it myself.
All right.
I got stuff to watch it more.
Sticks, you got a heat check this week?
My heat check is going to be really quick. What was hot this week? I'm going to say Off the Mat was hot this week because we did some hell of work with our picks night, 2 nights of WrestleMania live streaming, and coming back here to review it all again. We're hot, boys. We're hot. I think we did a great job. I loved it. I had a great time. What wasn't hot this week? Night one
WrestleMania.
Night one was very cold. It was very cold. I won't say it was. It had its moments, but yeah, night one I guess would be the overall bust because it didn't really give us a lot. Night two redeemed it. It brought the weekend back. But yeah. Overall, the wrestling was the wrestling. Listen to the words. The wrestling was good. The storylines and what goes on elsewhere needed some work, but the wrestlers themselves did a bang up job. I won't take anything away from them just because their storyline didn't pan out or wasn't great or wasn't what we wanted. They went out there and they gave it their all and they did what they needed to do. So there you go.
All right. Good job, Sticks. Great stuff. All right. I got to say, all in all, boys, what a great WrestleMania weekend. and follow up after. If you want more off the mat goodness, please do us a favor. Head on over to our new YouTube channel, youtube.com/off the mat pro wrestling podcast. Link is in the description as well as the comment section. Go there, sub up there if you just want professional wrestling goodness. Otherwise, if you like the comic book stuff or the Doctor Who stuff, you can keep watching us on Sticks in my channel because we're going to keep broadcasting there as well. But we just want to have one place for all our pro wrestling content because we're going to start punching out a bunch of pro wrestling content, I hope, in the coming days. We're going to really try to drive this into overdrive. If there's another content creator you want us to collab with as far as professional wrestling goes, let us know and we could try on working on that as well because we welcome everyone's takes here in the Off the Mat arena. Thank you again so much to Kyle Starks and Eric for coming on last week as well as Pete. Congratulations to Eric for winning his inaugural Off the Mat championship. Go over and sub up to Renovision, sub up to Pete, sub up to us on all of our new socials, sub up to the Off the Mat YouTube channel as well. And if you want more from Sticks, well, you can catch him over on his Stick Boy 73 channel on YouTube where he's going through some Doctor Who stuff. Or you can catch him on Renovision every Friday night as part of the Qualified. You can also catch him on Renovision and Absolute Geek and his channel on Saturday nights as part of Saturday Night Special where we go through all kinds of comic book and pop culture content if you're into that. And of course, catch more from Dom Tober on Renovision every Sunday night, as well as Friday, Sunday for Star Wars, Friday for the Qualified, and trying to get him on Saturdays too. Get a little bit more Dom for everyone's lives. Remember, if we get 1,000 subscribers, Dom might send you an OnlyFans picture of him with a tuxedo thong on, dressed as a pickle.
Or a pickle bikini.
Or a pickle bikini. Oh,
how about that one?
It's like Christmas over here. Just a gift that keeps on giving, right? But with that being said, remember to hit that like and subscribe button on your way out. Let us know in the comment section. What did you think of the Raw After WrestleMania?
It makes me feel a little funny in the reels.
What are you so excited for moving forward as the winds of change are upon us as far as WWE goes since WrestleMania is over? And with that being said, Dom, take us out with some words of wisdom for the fine folks this week.
And this is going to go back to what we talked about earlier. Listen, let the wrestlers who are doing their thing out to dinner, airport, hotel, give them breathing space. When they say no, respect. No
means no.
Exactly. Don't be that guy or that girl that does something stupid and then you wind up on TV for being blacklisted from all wrestling events and things like that, and having issues with the wrestlers. Just be a kind guy, a girl. If they say no, go, I thank you very much. Enjoy your evening, this and that. Because one day you'll probably run into them again, and they'll kind of remember maybe and say, who knows? They'll tell you, listen, oh yeah, you were that person, and I appreciate that. Because you never know who's watching. So that being said, just let them do their thing.
Sure.
Oh, there's some great words of wisdom there, Dom. Just absolutely fantastic. Couldn't said it better myself. And on that note, you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy your if you're gonna watch SmackDown tomorrow night, let us know what happened, or let us know how you enjoy SmackDown tomorrow night. All that great stuff. And see how many more times I can say great, huh? But on that note, we will see you guys right back here next Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, for a brand new episode of Off the Mat. Good night.